In this case, it a little, and it was like,
we're live on the internet. I pushed the button. We're live on the internet.
That's a great way to press the censor
I know.
button.
Everybody can wonder what context what was accidental. Who knows? Who's to say? Remember last week when I talked about how I accidentally ate brain? Did you guys accidentally eat organ meat this week?
I don't want to think about that again.
Sorry.
I mean, I've probably accidentally eaten a lot of skin, right?
For sure.
That's an organ.
Yeah,
like
it is.
skin and
I guess that's
epithelial
true.
Yeah, like,
cells.
I mean, if you're biting your nails are not skin though.
No, they're calcium.
No, there's skin who couldn't cut it.
What? Okay, wait a minute. Let's just reset.
Nails are skin that failed.
No. Let's reset.
Nail fail.
Let's reset. What? Has anybody eaten anything good this week that is not their own skin or brains?
Someone else's skin.
Yeah, someone else's skin and brains.
What a setup.
Who is this? Army Hammer? I made I did like a taco or not taco, Crunchwrap and burrito week.
You've been
So
loving that Crunchwrap Supreme now.
I did. We got back into it, so we've been eating Crunchwraps, and I made instant pot pulled pork, which I use to make burritos, like Chipotle burritos, so like the chili lime rice and stuff. It's been pretty good. Been enjoying it. So that's been my foods this week.
I just had a realization that what I had for dinner last night
Was brains? You're like, oh, I did eat brains.
No. What I had for dinner tonight was Skyline chili, which has been discussed here. The chili that goes on spaghetti. And I was thinking, what did I have for dinner last night? And I realized that my dad made homemade chili that I have some of. And I still have some left over in the fridge.
Yes, more.
And I kind of forgot it. And so I went out and bought chili from somewhere else. And now I feel bad. Now I actually
Fly
feel
yourself
bad.
with as much chili as you can.
Agreed.
That's my life.
Whatever it
philosophy.
takes to get through winter.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
agree. I mean, we did have the nightmare cold
Oh,
spell
so
this weekend.
disgusting.
Yeah, it got really nasty.
Yeah.
I warmed up a bunch of old soup. It wasn't. I mean, that sounds terrible.
Define
soup.
old.
I know.
That's just
You know what's
you're
going to
sitting there
help you
eating.
get
You're like,
through
old
the storm better is sickness. Yeah.
So you take old people and old things, old vegetables, and just put it all in the soup.
Old people.
It was literally just soup from Thanksgiving. It's not that old. It just was in the freezer.
It's not that old.
I don't know why.
That's 2 months. That's a sixth of a year.
I mean, I know what you're saying, Rich. It was in the freezer, so it kept, but like, nah.
It's not
Oh my
right. It's not right.
gosh.
The 2-month-old soup. I feel like it's old because they make a lot of fresh soup, and so anytime I'm not like
It's a
making it
natural
from scratch, it feels old. Yeah, nothing exciting. I had a full-on like bachelor meal last night of like just a bowl of nachos. I was like,
that sounds fantastic.
yeah,
Yeah,
I could have like chips and cheese and salsa. I threw some onions in there too. There
Oh,
was some
nice.
like real vegetables, kind of. Nothing.
How's that
green.
go with the bachelor breakfast that is what was left at the bottom of the Pringles
Incredible.
can?
Yeah.
Aces? Yeah, it's
That's
yeah, hand in
I-
hand, really.
I have to say, Sunday, I went to my mom's for brunch, and it was kind of like a mini family gathering. And oh my goodness, she made homemade mac and cheese, crockpot style.
Ooh.
She made extra crispy fried chicken with Cajun spices
Mm.
and homemade waffles.
Oh my
Waffles.
god.
And
Yeah,
oh
waffle.
my gosh, it was absolutely insane. We had the fried chicken with the waffles with like homemade maple syrup and just the good stuff. It was insane.
You know what you should do, Taylor? You should text your mom.
Yeah.
And you should tell her sometime tonight or tomorrow. I enjoyed that so much. I continue to think about it, and I've been telling other people about that meal.
Oh yeah.
Aw.
It will make her day.
and
That's really
and
It will
she
make her
knows.
weep.
Well, and
She knows,
She does
but
know.
she will still appreciate it.
Yeah,
No,
that's really
that's-
sweet.
That's the
Yeah.
extra mile that really goes a long
Yeah.
way. Yeah, that's very thoughtful, Troy.
Meanwhile,
Yep.
my parents are just like, "Why haven't you called? We haven't heard from you in
Mhm.
weeks." And I'm like, "Leave me alone."
Well, make me waffles, Mom, and maybe I'll call you.
Yeah, really.
Mail
the
me some
last one.
waffles. Yeah.
I have a
Mom,
list
mail
of
me
demands,
waffles.
and by a list of demands, I really mean a recipe. Please follow closely.
This is
Oh,
not
gosh.
delicious food related to the majority of people probably, but my wife has started return to office, and so normally we eat lunch at home, like I said, right? Like, so we're doing burritos this week and stuff like that. But when you're in a relationship and when you're married, Mike, you could probably attest to this.
I'm
and,
taking
you
notes,
know,
yes.
It's like there's certain levels where foods that you maybe ate when you were single, your wife might not like, or you just don't eat them anymore.
Oh,
But
big time.
big time, right? But like deep down, you're just like, oh man, I sometimes I'm just like, oh, remember when I used to eat that for lunch or whatever. And this is nothing good, but it's a small personal like of mine. And so she's returned to office, and she's like, yeah, you'll have to figure out what you want to do for lunch or whatever. And I was just like, I could get canned tuna sandwiches because like I love making canned tuna sandwiches. Like they're like
I
a
love canned
thing I used to eat all the time. But I don't, because she doesn't like canned tuna, and also just, you know, it smells. And so being home though, I got really excited, and she was like, you got real excited about the fact that you're gonna eat canned tuna sandwiches. But for me, I'm just like, oh man, I love that. I haven't had them in like forever now, so I'm really excited about it. So
Do you like mix
small
it with
meal.
mayonnaise or anything, or is it just like
So-
plop from the can onto the bread?
No, it's definitely mixed with a bit of mayonnaise. I try to put in some garlic, and if I have the onions, I'll chop up onions to mix in. That's as far as it goes. Sometimes though, I'll just do mayo, salt, pepper. Just
What about
straightforward.
apples? Have you had apples? Oh my gosh. No,
That sounds crazy.
no, Kevin, I promise you it is like the best thing. I always make my tuna sandwiches with the mayo, but like little pieces of apple. It is
There's a lot of blood that has been spilled on that line of apples and tuna,
That's
Kevin.
so good.
Yeah, it is a
It does
blood
sound good. I
stain.
really like fresh apples in things. They're very underrated and
In
just
tuna?
put it in everything.
They really
Right.
are. Taylor's dad's farm, they serve a bunch of sandwiches where they have like fresh apples on the turkey sandwich with like the crazy
That makes
like,
sense to me. though.
cranberry, whatever. And it's so good. It's like a fresh apple goes a long way. But yeah, the canned tuna, you
fish,
already lost me. You could throw apples in there. You could throw gold in there. I'm good. I don't want it. Yeah, I'm fine.
You don't like a good tuna casserole?
I can't. I'm sorry. No judgment. You're talking about like bachelor foods that your wife won't allow you to eat. And tuna really like tracks because of like the kind of full contact activity that it is to eat canned tuna. But for me, it was Captain Crunch, really. Like my wife used to like try to scout me every time I came home with a box of Captain Crunch. That ended real quick after getting there. No more Captain Crunch lunch, you know.
This is wild to me. I don't know. I'm like very much. I always ask Matt, like, what do you want from the grocery store? Like, if we're getting groceries, like, I'm making my list. He's like, I just want apple juice and pepperoni and crackers.
Are you
That's all that he
dating an
wants.
8-year-old?
Yes, 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 I am.
You know what?
Let me tell you, as
y'all
someone
y'all
with
can
the taste
appreciate it. You're
preferences-
young still, so enjoy it.
And he also bought
Someone with the
eight-
taste preferences of an 8-year-old still. I don't sleep on pepperoni and crackers. That's a great.
Oh no, I
that's
mean
a
that's my
great-
Listen,
that's my like
adult
go-to
Lunchables
late night
are-
food
yeah.
is like
Yeah,
late night
it's
charcuterie.
great.
But I'm not
Yep.
like, all right, please bring me back from the store my juice box
My juice
and
box and my
Lunchables.
cracks, yeah. Listen, adult Lunchables. I'm with Mike. One of my favorite like snacks and things to eat at night. Just like pop out some Triscuits, some
Oh,
like
yeah.
you know
yeah.
good cheese, with
yeah.
some like sliced meats. Oh yeah, all the way.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
I fully concur. I definitely had a moment last winter where when indulging in a late night charcuterie board, I decided to go on Amazon and buy crackers. And once again, a dude came down my driveway with like a freaking hand truck, you guys, and brought me like 5 cases of Triscuits. I thought I was buying 5 boxes, like a variety pack.
Rich, you
Brought me,
really
like,
gotta
20
pay
5
attention when you
pallets
order
of
things off
Triscuits.
Amazon. It's getting out of control, man.
5
No.
boxes.
Now he's telling himself he's not doing it on purpose, but you are doing it on purpose. You want the giant amount.
Well, I will say, like, Kevin is to canned tuna what I am to Triscuits. For some reason, I haven't had them in, I don't know, like 5 years. And then I bought a box out of the whim, and I was like, this is Nirvana.
I missed this.
Yeah, I didn't know how much I missed it until I bit into that thick ass cracker,
Yeah.
which is my nickname in high school.
I knew if you didn't take it, I'm telling you.
And I was
Ass
like, this
crackers
is a
your
game
drag
changer.
queen
I was
name.
so happy. There's so many great foods out there in the world that we're unfortunate that there are some that we like forget about, but that we're so
Mhm.
lucky to rediscover down the line if we remember to do so.
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm very much back on the crackers and like hummus. I've
Mhm.
got like
Mm.
I've got I found these everything crackers.
Oh yeah.
So good.
Yeah, not to like invoke the name of Jordan Kalish, but yeah, the like everything like seasoning is my favorite stuff. The jars of everything.
Yeah,
seasoned, so-
everything but the bagel from
Yes.
Trader Joe's,
Yeah.
super
It's
good. Like
exactly
that was
right.
for a while my go-to breakfast was like avocado toast with that sprinkled on top of it. That was
Mm.
Josh Wigler's recommendation, and it panned out in so many ways.
There you go. The
Avocado toast,
avocado
another
toast.
A+ meal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One non-food related thing, but I wanted to point out. I don't remember if I said this on the internet or if it was before we came on last week, but I realized I tend to wear the same color sweater.
Oh yeah, I think
over
that
the
was,
last
this was
like
before we came on.
it
yeah.
was either so I wear like a pink or a red or an orange, and that's like the color scheme. If I looked back at the videos, I didn't realize it until I was looking last week. I was like, have I wear the same color all this time? And I kid you not, this morning I was getting dressed. I reached into the closet. I was about to grab an orange sweater, and I was like, "Wait, no, it's Tuesday. I'm not doing this." And I purposely wore a different one, which this is like a fisherman's striped sweater, as they call it, which I felt was appropriate for the whale thing.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was, but apparently, subconsciously, I've just been wearing these specific colors on Tuesday without realizing it.
Well, now I have a
Now,
very colorful personality.
Are you telling this because it's an interesting story? Or are you telling this by way of apologizing to the one person 10 years from now who's been watching this and has been preparing every single week for Kevin to be like, look, he's going to wear, literally.
He's got the orange sweater again. Yeah.
One day.
Yeah.
We'll find out
gosh,
the
I hope
story.
not, because I've worn probably the 3 same shirts every single stream from
It's
2
super
years
funny
that I've
that
been on.
you say this, because I was like I got out of the shower before I put on a shirt, and I definitely came and sat down to like get ready to stream. It was like, oh Jesus. I looked at like the thumbnail from the VOD of last week. It was like, I can't. It's the same shirt.
I'm probably wearing the same flannel. Like I'm either wearing a black turtleneck or this flannel.
All right, so we need to get out of chili season for one reason, which is so that people can actually vary their outfits up.
Yeah, really. Please. I got a lot of t-shirts. So, should we play the Dungeons and the Dragons?
Yeah, because we left things in a pretty precarious position last time.
Afraid.
Indeed.
Dead whales.
No.
Indeed, we did. So, when last we left our heroes, the group of you, having made landfall on the planet of Homeworld, which is in fact an astral turtle hurtling through the sea of stars, have spent the past months resting, recuperating, imbibing, and enjoying one another's company. You have made friends with newcomers, you have reunited with old friends, and you have made some new antagonistic allies, perhaps we might say. As it were, Lux's parents returned from a journey on the Peregrine, making landfall down in Harbor Town in the spaceport. The group of you traveled down to the village to say hello, to make introductions. Lux excited to introduce all of you to her parents. They revealed that not only was their ship robbed, but it had been sold, and this would be their last official flight as members of the crew of the Peregrine. And it was shortly after your kind of reunion with them that the group of you looked into the sky only to see the light streaming down amidst the kind of blue sky and the white fluffy clouds as the shadow passes over the harbor of an enormous space whale, dead and desiccated, most of the flesh having rotten long since from its body. It is a large skeletal figure, well hundreds of feet long, kind of moving slowly through the air above you. I think even at this distance, you can't make out much more details about it than that. And as people all around you in the kind of spaceport are casting their eyes heavenwards, kind of covering the sun to give them vision, pointing towards the sky, panic kind of mounting amongst all of them, I say to the group of you, what would you all like to do?
Naya's gonna point to the sky and be like, what the hell is that? Is that a dead whale?
So
That's a Kandori.
Is it like actively doing anything, or is it just hovering there?
Yes. So you catch sight of it, and it seems to be in this slow, kind of sinuous motion, almost like a snake in the way that it moves, its tail sort of arcing left and right. It is moving slowly across the horizon, but it is descending at a kind of like alarming rate. And I think as you look up towards it, Adam, you catch sight of what look like a couple of like something falling from it. First 1, 2, 3, 4 things kind of falling and plummeting away from the base of it.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Is it coming towards anyone? Is there like, does it look like these things are going to crash into people's?
Yeah, great question. So you're watching, and I think that you see, Niall, like almost what looks like the sphere as it's like plummeting towards the earth, like gaining in kind of size as it comes. It looks to be about, 10 feet in diameter. This big, almost sort of like clear globe. It looks almost like a cell with like a nucleus inside of it, something coming. It gives you the impression a little bit of like an egg, a frog's eggs or salamander's eggs almost. walls, and they are falling in this like cascade. You realize that there's at least kind of like a dozen of them falling like straight over the city. I think you hear a sound from behind as like one of them crashes into a rooftop, tiles kind of shattering, wood splintering up into the air.
I think Nai's gonna jump into action, try to get anyone who seems like they're in danger or stuff falling out of the way.
Adam,
yeah.
given the breakfast that he made for everyone earlier that day, is incredibly intrigued that someone has similar culinary tastes as he does. So he's gonna go running towards not the people but the egg to try to find it and see exactly what it might be. Mystified by the pure idea that eggs can be large.
Adam, get back here! Lux, as soon as she sees the Kandori whale, Lux is screaming at the top of her lungs for everybody to get to Yavanna's place. She's shouting at everybody to get out from away from the docks.
And
Like,
I think your
just-
parents still here, Lux. Tam
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Faye, these changelings, both of them with the kind of visage almost of like half elves, as it were, this kind of reddish brown hair, the pointed ears. I think the pair of them are like, we're going to help. We need to
Yes,
help these
us.
people.
Get people to safety. Get people to safety. Adam, get the heck back here right now!
I'm gonna find the giant egg. I'll
No,
report back
no,
with intel.
We're not
And
looking for the giant eggs. Get
Adam
over
has
here.
raced around the side of a building, Lux.
Yep.
Reggie, what are you doing?
I think he's like seeing all of this around him, and then he's like, he looks over at Lux and anyone else, and he's like, to the ship. We'll have a much better chance from there.
I think Doc with you nods, looking to Reya like, come on, help me get everything fired up. And Reya's like, yeah, no, okay, yeah. And the pair of them like take off running for the Dragonfly. As you hear like Trigga, that's like she's like,
Aw.
come on, Trigga. Picks them up, racing towards the ship. Meanwhile, Naya, I think that as you like dart away, you see one of these globes come like hurtling down, and it smashes into a building. The harbor, the like spaceport as it was, it's up kind of built on a little bit of a hill, and then so like there's like the roof of buildings almost like even with it off of this kind of walkway, if that makes sense, as the ground descends towards like the main river that runs through the village. You're up above it, so you see one of these like egg kind of balls crash into this roof, and like a whole bunch of like rafters break, and you see a couple of people that are kind of like racing for the door of the building, like the rubble of the porch cracks, smashing down on top of them, dust kind of wafting up all around them as they vanish beneath. You come like darting up, and there's this bit of rubble, and I think you hear from inside the rubble like, help, 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 help.
Yeah, I'm gonna start trying to like pull the rubble away to get to whoever's down there. Do I just start punching the rubble, or can I slash through the rubble?
It's like
Punch the Rubble was my punk band name.
Yeah.
The Simpsons episode, the stains on the shirt. We tried punching them out and stabbing them out. You can make an athletics check, or you can start punching the rubble. Yeah.
What is? Oh, I'll do athletics. That's pretty good.
Yeah, there's kind of like a beam sticking out with like a section of roof that has collapsed still attached to it. So you wedge yourself down, getting a shoulder into the beam. You're going to try to like lift it up.
Yeah. All right. Oh gosh, 7 + 8, 15. I haven't made
15.
athletics.
Yeah, your legs kind of like straining, Naya. The beam like settling into like the wooden pauldrons of the armor of Oakstone, this wooden plate mail armor that you're wearing. You manage to like lift it up. You feel a hand kind of grab you around the ankle as like this figure comes like crawling out in front of you. You see like a small child. They look to be maybe like 7 or 8 years old. This kind of blonde-haired boy with like dust just covering his face. The mother kind of like crawling out from behind, this long black hair tied back in a bun, and she's like, thank you so much. And as go for it. Sorry.
I think Naya would say like, no problem. You over there, get them to safety, will you? Get them to safety. Oh hell. Not stop it. Get them to safety. Get them to safety. Go.
And I think that you see this figure wearing like this kind of like royal blue, almost like button down vest with this long hair, these long flapping ears, this like Harangon rabbit folk like darting over towards you, grabbing the woman's hand, and like the child's like nodding to you as they turn, looking towards the palace on the hill. I think you follow their vision, Naya, and you see the Arcano cannons around Yavanna's palace like blasting these like greenish blue, like just beams of energy firing into the air. Meanwhile, Adam, as you go like darting around the corner, you see one of these eggs like falling on the roof of a building and literally comes rolling off and hits the stone. And as you come like running around, you come like racing down the stairs and like stop on the staircase as you see like boom, 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 these balls falling everywhere. And they're hard and strong. They're like crushing what's underneath them. They're not like, they almost look like they might be clear, made of jelly, but they're not. And you sit watching them for a minute. Inside of them, let me have you make a perception check, Adam.
Oh boy, yes. 13.
Is that how Adam says this?
Yes, he's actually doing his best Austin Powers impression. The one movie they had on his
even down to saying, "Let me make a perception check."
Yeah. Let me make a perception check.
As you like peer inside this globe, Adam, it's hard to like tell what exactly you're looking at. It's almost like this bubbling like bit of like just like ooze like churning over itself, and then suddenly like simultaneously almost all of the globes around these things just they vanish, dissipating away. And you see now, you get like a clear look at what was inside is like this mass of kind of like knotted, twisted flesh, like oozing along the ground. And you see them like all over the place. You hear like screaming coming from like all around the town, the sound of like shutters being slammed closed on houses, people like running, shouts, the Arcana cannons blasting in the background. What do you want to do?
This is delightful! And Adam will instantly shrink his hands. Up comes a warhammer and a flail, and he will just start pounding the ground and smashing these things like they're little ants that are walking by him.
Okay. I think like as one of these things has rolled up in front of you, go for it. Make an attack roll.
All right, let's do it. 23.
Hits.
For 10. Oh, wait, no, Giant's Might. So 7 points of damage.
Got it. You like smash down into this thing. Let me have you make another perception check right now as you like smash it with the warhammer, and like blood comes like spraying up into the air as it like sinks down, but it almost like seems to like move around the force of your hammer restructuring itself.
That's a 23.
As soon as you hit this one, you spot all of the other ones. They almost like rise up, like almost kind of serpent-like, these columns, these tubes twisting up, and they turn these like snake-like, like totally ambiguous, featureless faces towards you as they begin lurching towards you from where they are. You can make your second attack roll, Adam.
Nope, I'm gonna use another action to run away. Bad idea. These are bad eggs. These are bad eggs. And Adam's just gonna turn it and start running, seeing that all of these are a bit of a hive mind. That are if one bad egg, I suppose, does spoil the dozen.
Okay, I'm going to cut back to Lux and Reggie as the pair of you are like standing in the port. You see Naya like dash to this building, heading down towards the actual like riverfront, heaving this thing up, helping like some of these villagers out from underneath the rubble. Adam having like raced around the corner. A few moments later, you kind of hear the sound of his voice, and then like some more, I want to say sharp kind of retorts as his warhammer is like cracking into the flagstones of the street. What do you two want to do?
We gotta get everybody to safety, Reg.
I do think like at this moment, Reg is like looking up at the whale and attempting to determine if this is a recognizable whale or what is the nature of this vessel from which these things have fallen.
Reg, you can make either an investigation or a perception check, whichever you think would be more appropriate.
I mean, I think it's going to be int based because this isn't about trying to like see
Yeah, you're
something
looking
closer.
to like match up details and put like
Yeah,
connective
so
dots
we'll call it
together.
investigation.
Mhm.
5 plus 9 for 14.
A 14, it's really hard for you to tell. Like, it's still many hundreds of feet up in the air. From where you're sitting, you get the impression that there are things moving around on it. It certainly has much less flesh on it. It is very skeletal. But you remember, like, seeing that Kandori whale the first time, all the creatures that were on it, like, it wouldn't be much to have gotten the flesh off of the thing. It seems like clearly it's being, like, piloted rather than just a creature.
Yeah, I think Reg turns to Lux and says, we need to find a way to get this at the source. Otherwise, we'll just be fighting it over and over and over again, whatever it throws at us.
I mean, I guess, but we need to take care of the people on the ground first before we get up there. What are those things that they're throwing down? Do you know anything about what the heck those are?
Do I know anything about what the heck those things are?
You like look to like where A.D.A.M ran, and like if you want to like dart off after him, you could get a good look kind of like down the stairs into the town.
Even just like the pods, the eggs that dropped, like
yeah, make a Arcana check.
23.
Nice.
They look like force globes. They look like really small, resilient spheres. They look like some kind of like magical spheres that are holding something inside them to be like dropped down. Like you're from where you are, you're peering and you kind of watch one like fade out, the kind of glare from the sunlight vanishing as it just melts away. And you see this kind of like bulbous ooze crawling across the roof. And you're like,
and we saw the others run to the Dragonfly, right? Like
Reya and Doc ran onto the ship, yes, with
Okay.
like Ben and Twinga and Ask and all of them. Yeah.
Okay. In which case, then I think Reg will buy in with Lux on like trying to get people to safety.
Okay. So I think that like you see Tam and Faye are like shouting and grabbing for people. A.D.A.M, as you try to dart away from this creature, I think it tries to make an opportunity attack against you.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm. Bad roll. 9 is a miss. Like flails this tendril at you as you like come darting away, like racing back towards your friends, where you see Lux and the professor kind of like calling for people, escorting people. I think Tam and Faye at this point are moving people back towards the ship, towards like the Peregrine, as it's like shelter, you know, and they're just like, quickly.
A.D.A.M. Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Like we're not right by A.D.A.M, right?
He's coming running back up now. As you turn and look, you see he's like come back around the corner of a building and is like sort of racing his way back towards you.
Okay.
Do not go in there.
So I think
that
what
was the
Reg
one
is...
joke I learned. The one. And it worked in this situation.
There
are big goo monsters behind me.
Gonna
Daddy?
try and create.
I don't think I ever want to hear the phrase, there are big goo monsters behind me, Daddy, again.
And here you just said it.
Boy, I almost want to just fail Reg's concentration checks for the next minute after that. Okay, so I think Reg is like now finally catching on to like this little overwhelming stimulation, right? We got this, we got that, we got the people running this way, we got A.D.A.M going this way, we got this. Tam and Faye are taking care of ushering people toward the Peregrine. I think that Reg is going to pull out his decoder wheel and spin it, and will cast amidst the astromancy archive that it's built into, conjure minor elementals.
Ooh, his voice.
And he will conjure 8, whatever the lowest challenge rating, I guess, 1/8 or lower. He will summon 8. We're gonna go with what, like fire methods is maybe like a 1/8 or 1/4. I'm gonna double check this. The goal is to create like a little runway for people to like shepherd people toward the Peregrine. and then to kind of close it off to where there's like a little bit of like a defensive wall in the civilians and whatever might come out of these like landed globes.
That's so amazing.
That's incredible.
Magma methods are 1/2.
So much.
Okay.
Steam or
steam
smoke methods. Yeah, steam methods I think are 1/4. So like these little like steam methods appearing all over the place, like
Little
air
flares.
traffic controllers, you know.
Little crossing guards.
Yeah. Yes. Let's go with sorry, bear with me.
No problem.
I think is there a difference between a steam method and a smoke method? I haven't learned about my methods closely enough.
Yes.
Let's go with the steam method. Just kind of like directing traffic. and then Reg will just yell out, close ranks, and direct them once enough civilians have gotten by.
And I think like civilians now like gathering as like A.D.A.M has raced out and is kind of like bringing like pointing groups of people back towards you who are acting as like almost a relay into the method runway with Faye at the ship, like bringing them up into like, the back. And it's at this point you see one of the other ships that's in like the harbor, the Bluebell, which you know is like noted as this doppelganger ship. There's all of a sudden like this scurry of like motion and activity as you see all these figures on the deck kind of looking up uncertain. And I think that it's at this point, Naya, you've like come like you could see your friends here as like Reg conjures up these methods, Lux kind of like guiding with them, A.D.A.M comes racing back, and the four of you are able to sort of like regroup here on the like landing pad, not that far away from the Dragonfly, as it were, as like most of the people in this general area seem to have like scattered. You can still hear like shouts of panic and like calls of help coming from like down towards the river, down in the village.
You said the Doppler people are just at their ship looking up, scared?
Yes, I think that you see what looks like a half dozen people on the deck of the ship looking up, and they look like uncertain. Like from where you're standing, you could see them like talking with one another, and like they haven't begun taking off and leaving. They haven't like invited anybody on the ship. They seem to be like unsure what they want to do.
Follow the screams. You need to help them. I've got to help these people. And I think Naya is going to go towards the Dopplers, having felt very deeply connected to their story, considering how much it was familiar and related to their own past.
So you start like running across the yard, like towards that ship. And I think that you see like a couple of people spot you from the deck and they come over. It looks like a very conventional kind of like sailing ship with these extra sails that would operate as like almost wings that are drawn up and like pitched vertically above the deck now that it's landed. And so as you are like racing towards it, Naya, you see like these two figures come like appear, their heads peering down over the rail at you. One of them seems like a human with this like big thick brown beard. The other one a like black skinned elf, like a drow elf with this dark ebony skin and this white ivory hair tied back in a kind of bun above their head as they peer down. And one of them like, what word?
Hello. Nope, no time for this. What are you doing here? There's giant things falling from the skies. You need to get the hell out of here.
Our people are not out here, one of them says, and the other one's like, we're not certain what course to take. Should we flee?
Who's missing?
Half of us. And I think the drow like turning and looking like as Tam and Faye now, like there's a bit of like a logjam at the Peregrine of people seem to like be backing up outside the ship. And I think that this figure from the top of like the doppelganger ship looking down at you, Naya, is like, do they need help? Should we take people with us?
Take as many people as you can. Get them to safety. We'll try to find the rest of the Dopplers. Do you know where they last were?
And I think that the two of them look at each other. Why don't you make an insight check here, Naya?
Meanwhile,
Meanwhile.
Troy has done the research that Reg would have done to know the difference between a smoke method and a steam method. He is definitely going with smoke methods and encouraging two of them to cast dancing lights so that they can then use the dancing lights to further light the runway. So smoke methods,
That's incredible.
lining into dancing lights, line the
Please
loading
follow
docks.
the lights towards the exits on the side of the plane.
I just can't do it.
It's so good. It's like the strobes down the runway.
Honestly, it's also like the people at the Olympics who are like paid to cheer as the athletes enter the arena.
The plants. Adam starts dancing with one of them.
Adam at the end of the row.
Papa, it's a party. I'm dead. My brothers.
Oh God, with the little cinder pom-poms. Okay, continue.
14.
Yeah, they seem like unsure what they want to say to you. They're like looking at each other, like gauging how much to say. And I think that the human one is just like, we can't know. They might be anywhere.
I mean, that's valid.
What was the name of the one that we met?
Evox.
Listen to me. I know you have no reason to trust me, but I met Evox earlier at breakfast. He told me about what's going on with your people. He told me the life you had. I can relate. My people, very similar. We lost our home. We came up into a new world. People didn't trust us. The only friends and family we had were each other for a long time. We learned to go out and into the world, and it's been the best decision since. But none of your people are going to be able to keep doing that. You can't tell me where they are, and we can go help them.
And I think that make a persuasion check here, Naya.
Wait, great. One of my high ones. That's what I was trying to get to. That would be a 23.
Ooh.
Right. And so I think that the drow, like turning to the human, looks back at you and just says, we speak the truth. It's impossible to know where they are. They're amongst you. They're everywhere. They're anywhere. We'll try to get as many of your people out of here as we can. And I think as you're standing here, the methods like doing the dancing lights, making the line, Adam's like dancing at the end of the row, people backing up. I think you, Lux, hear Tam and Faye like at the edge of the ship of the Peregrine, like, it can't be full. We could fit more people on here. And you see people like frantically moving on the deck of the Peregrine, making like take off, and a little bit of like an argument happening about like, get the F off the ship. We're like leaving now. That's it. In this like argument. As meanwhile, yeah, I think that they like look down to you, Naya, and they're just like, boom! One of these eggs smashes into the deck of the ship.
Oh,
and I think that you have this moment where like you look up, you hear the impact. The drow kind of like woman that was standing there is like smashed by the force of the ball. Her body is thrown off the deck of the ship as it crashes into the stone at your feet, and like almost immediately blood kind of pouring across the stones, her whole body like shifts and transforms into this kind of grayish purple kind of featureless humanoid figure in front of you, this doppelganger dead. But the ship itself, you see this like ripple run across it suddenly as like all of like the wood kind of like, it's almost like the bioluminescence on like a squid. There's like this vibration of light that like runs out around it, where you almost see this like textured, dimpled, like rough reddish skin rather than wood. And I think the other figure like thrown to the ground on the deck of the ship, you lose sight of them, Naya.
So the one that like fell is definitely dead.
Yeah, you
whose
think
blood
that
is
they're
it?
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard their body just like shatter when they hit the stone, like between the impact of the orb and the landing on the ground, they have died.
So so one, Naya's gonna look at the body and just say, almost in like a voice that is distant from long ago from them, and say, I'm so sorry. and then run towards the ship to see if they can find anyone else to be like. Can it still fly? Is the thing like smashed the ship? Like, what's the ship situation?
Yeah, as you run to the ship and like look up, I think you see the figure pull themselves back up over the rail, this like bearded man, and they look down towards the dead doppelganger on the stone. And I think that you see them make this symbol where they like cover their eyes with the back of their hand and like bow their head for a moment, and then they look towards you like, send them here. We'll take as many as we can. We fly in 3 minutes.
Thank you. They'll remember this, and then we'll run back. Actually, as Naya's running back, Naya's gonna take out that little orb thing that is given to them and just be like, "Hello, testing, Naya here. Anyone coming in?"
And with that, Naya activates the telepathic link in the Dream Spear. So for the next hour, all of you can like communicate telepathically to one another as Naya has like activated the telepathic communications.
Not realizing it's telepathic, A.D.A.M will say out loud, "Oh, Naya! Yeah, where are you? I can't see you. Come join the dance."
I assume I can still hear it just because you have to think what you say before you say it. Usually,
Right? Isn't that kind of weird?
A weird
Yeah.
echo.
Yes, it's a little reverby, I guess.
Oh, a dance. That sounds nice. That sounds really fun. That sounds like, a good time. What the hell? What do you mean a dance? Listen, the Doppler ship is taking as many people as they can, leaving in 3 minutes. I think I'm headed back towards your direction. You need to send as many people as you can that way.
Redirect, and he'll point half of the smoke methods to go.
Yeah, and the methods like a conga line. They just all like shift right over the dancing light, like conduit, like
crowd control. It's incredibly important in a crisis.
If it's okay, Rich, I do think Lux in this kind of time, seeing the commotion on the Peregrine would just come up and attempt to help her parents like convince people to get as many people on board, but then hearing Naya's message will also like start to try and help redirect people towards the other ship.
And I think there's this moment as you're with Tam and Faye, like you're down on the ground calling up to them at the base of the ramp, and you're like trying to help the people go. And I think you see like guards arguing with them, and they turn and look towards the Bluebell. And as you redirect them for that ship, I think you see like Tam like grabbing Faye's hand, like kind of swings her over the railing, lowering her as he drops her to the ground, and like yells to the crowd like, follow her. And Faye begins like leading this like whole crowd of people, and like they kind of are following. They come like past you, Naya. You're like pushing through this crowd, leading the other way. And I think you look back towards the Bluebell, and there's this moment where you're like waiting almost for the guy up top to like throw a ladder. How are they going to get into the ship? There's no like hatch on the side like yours. It's like a conventional sailing ship, and it's at this point you see the entire ship like shudder and just like restructure, and you realize this entire ship is some like living organism bigger than the Dragonfly. It has this almost like red mottled skin, these huge kind of yellow eyes on the front of like an enormous kind of head on the front of it, and this like hole just opens in the side of it, almost like the flesh like reforming. And I think all the people are like panicked for a moment. There's like Tam at the back encouraging them, Faye at the front like ushering them forward, the methods like guiding as the professor is like conducting the orchestra of dancing lights in the back. And I think it's at this point, A.D.A.M, that you hear a voice from behind you as you're like standing at the edge of the method row, and you turn and you see the man D, the druid who restored old Ben's lover to this new body, as he comes running forward. At his side, the small halfling, old Ben's lover restored, Busha Greenbot, as D comes like running forward and is like, there is terrible danger. We must do something. Are you all right?
We're considerably fine, but there are many goo monsters around. Do you know how we can get rid of goo monsters?
They are gathering. They're forming up into something even larger down in the city. And I think he looks down to the halfling, like looking towards the crowd of people rushing towards the ship. And he says, you must go with them. I can no longer shepherd you, my friend. Go. And I think that Busha, like, kind of like looking over the lot of you, like looks back, nodding at D, and he just like darts from your group, racing for like these refugees heading onto the doppelganger ship.
You're
Oh,
welcome on the Dragonfly.
And if you find old Ben, can you please send him back to us? We found him cheating children out of marbles last time. We don't know where he is. He may be crushed by a
just sent him to the ship.
Yeah,
He
he's
should
on,
be
he's on
fine.
the Dragonfly. He's on the Dragonfly. So
we're on
Reya
the
and
Breaking
Doc.
Ben arc, by the way, Troy. Old
Breaking
Ben now like hustling with marbles. Yep.
Breaking Ben. How long have you had that one on lock?
Oh man, since he was discovered.
Since he was created. I was ready to create the ultimate heal.
Wow.
So like D is standing here with you, and I think he like looks into the air. You see this like skeletal whale making a circular pass, and I think that he's like, what are you going to do?
We have to defend the city. We have to destroy the whatever that's forming.
Yes, go be gone. Let's go.
Why do they always form up into something bigger? It's always something bigger.
So
I
they
think
know
they're
it's this thing.
unionized. I think
Come on, let's
that's
go.
the issue.
Oh, you know, on one hand, that's pretty good.
But Lux pulls out Kadras. Wake up!
I never sleep. Vengeance is sleepless, fool.
You
as
should.
the group of you go running
Can I
back.
talk to you
down.
at night?
Probably.
No, Doc, no Reya. I think that you see like the ballista like moving around up on the top of the Dragonfly as Doc and Reya are in there. I'm just grabbing all of your tokens. Sorry, go
Please.
figure.
Oh, are they gonna? Is the intention to fly the ship?
We don't know.
They're gonna fly the ship, and we have an Arcano cannon now, right?
Yeah, on the ship. There's two.
We do. Yeah.
Hopefully they're using it to blast the
Oh,
shit out of
okay.
that whale.
Oh yeah. Doc and Ray has got
Blast some eggs out of the sky.
Or are they aiming for the whale, or should they be aiming for whatever the hell we are about to walk into?
Go for
So-
the whale and the
Yeah.
balls, I would say.
They've got the sky for now. We'll
Cut-
join them.
Cut off the influx of new things.
Yeah.
You're gonna cut off the influx. So the
Influx
lot of
capacitor?
yeah. 1.21 gigawatts. As the group of you come like running down these stairs around the corner, you see where like these oozes are down in the kind of streets of the village. And I think that you spot like two of them have kind of crashed into each other and are kind of like rising up as a third like masses in, and another one like kind of sloughs down off the top of this roof as they all are like joining up into this one like much larger kind of like ooze in front of you. And like scanning around the village all around, you could see where like there's more of these things just like moving around all over the place. I guess I'm gonna say go ahead and click your tokens and let's roll initiative.
Look at this
man.
map. This map is amazing.
What
So pretty.
a fun map.
Oh,
is a
very
neat one.
Venetian.
It's a nice
Where am I?
one.
Initiative. Just a friendly reminder to the folks at home, one of the Giff-Q abilities that you don't get to see too often is that the Giff has a tactical wit, which allows me to add my intelligence to my initiative roll.
It's really fun.
Helps to be smart.
Yeah. Well, you know, not all of our tactics are physical firearms.
It's tough to be a god.
I am forever last in initiative.
Just lying back and waiting.
Paladin things, man. Paladin things. Professor
Not
Reginald.
as wonderful, but they lack initiative.
They're very distracted very easily.
Just sit in the
Speaking
back
of which,
pocket.
the professor's up, I guess.
As the group of you come racing down here, I think that from behind, right? I think the camera shot is like the four of you running down these stairs, coming around the corner as these oozes all like mass together into this thing that pulls itself up into like a vaguely humanoid shape. And in the background, I think we just see the dragonfly like lifting up from the port, like pitching as it like twists and begins to like surge up into the air with Doc at the helm and Reya at the guns. And then you have to wonder, Ben at the other guns, that should be that's a crack team right there.
Well, I don't
Reginald?
know. We saw how he was shooting the past couple of times. And
All right. Well, let's start with this. Reg, I have the Conjure Minor and Elementals. The casting time is a minute, but then it's concentration up to an hour. I think we probably spent a minute of me getting my smoke methods, but I think we're still within an hour here. So if you are able to bring along some tokens for smoke methods, that would be great. No rush on that. I'm also fine if like they take a little bit more time to join us, but I think eventually Reg will try and summon them in this direction.
You got it. Very doable. Smoke methods.
Yeah, and let's see what. So I'm looking at this big goober, and then I'm seeing a whole bunch of little tiny goobers. Okay.
Wait,
What?
where are the goobers? I don't think I see any goobers.
You don't see any? They're all the purple ones. They're literally all over that.
It just is such a colorful map.
Wow, they
right?
just really, went right into it. Thank you.
Okay. I think what Reg is gonna do is he's immediately wanting to test the waters here, and so he is going to cast a magic missile. I think he's going to kind of twirl his bow tie, and 3 darts of magic missile are going to fly out. One at the first one, the big one in front of us, and then 2, one more each at the one on the bridge, and then the one behind it, just to see what kind of damage is done and how these things react.
Okay.
So, come on, roll. Are we rolling for each missile? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, it looks like what's happening.
2, 2, 4.
Ooh.
2 force damage, 2 force damage, 4 force damage on the last one.
They all seem to take the damage as the darts of force come like punching into them. This like kind of splash coming off each one. But you know, none of them seems like particularly slowed, hampered, destroyed by any of it.
Okay, great. Then the last thing I will do is with I'm just gonna like make an executive call that like only half of the methods get here in time, and the other ones are kind of the slow methods. We're gonna have these ones like come and start to surround this one, and let's see what
you got the sheet. Did I pop it up for you?
Let's see. Oh, did you? Oh, look at you. You are too nice. Use the character man edit sheet
edit directly should work.
Right?
This is like a new update. It's been a little weird.
Cool. I'm seeing it as a character sheet, not as a villain sheet or as an NPC sheet. So I don't know that I have a role on it.
Oh yeah, weird. Close it and maybe just open it again. This is a thing. It's been making me nuts the last couple of weeks.
Totally fine. Give me just a second, folks. I know I like threw this at the DM suddenly to be like, hey, methods.
Like, who gave you that spell?
I know, right? Nope.
Didn't work.
Didn't work.
Okay. I have one last.
I see the description in the bio and info. Oh, there we go. Now I'm back.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Senses. Great. Okay, we are going to use the first one that gets there is going to do a Cinder Breath, and I need a Dexterity saving throw DC 10 for this goo creature.
You got it. The goo creature shall make said Dexterity saving throw. Yeah, that's a big one.
Ooh,
okay,
nice.
If it can be blinded, it is blinded.
Condition immunities blinded.
Okay,
Sorry.
Great.
Yep.
Totally fine. Now we know. And then the other ones are gonna claw at it. 3 claws. 1, 2, 3. So an 18, a 9, and a 20.
Flanking. So I think all 3 of them hit.
Great. Love that. Didn't know if size-wise that would be okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
So that is going to be slashing damage. 12 points of slashing damage on the big goo.
Yeah, you watch as like the professor's dancing methods get to work surrounding this like big amorphous entity. It like now that you guys are closer to it, it almost looks like an ogre that's been turned inside out. It's very gross. It is very disgusting. It is very much like sinew and tissue and muscle, like all restructuring and reforming itself. The methods like circling around, like ripping, tearing at pieces of it. They put a pounded on it, but it's still like kind of lurching along towards you guys, as it were.
The professor will move down here and till end his turn.
Got it. That'll bring us
That
to
series
Adam.
of words was like not what I expected. After
Um,
ogre, I was not ready.
That's what I'm
By the way,
always
What is
Rich-
that? So an ogre turned inside out is an ergo.
Here we go.
Ergo.
Rich,
All right.
if you want to move that token to be on the grid, I'm happy to move the methods around it.
Sure. Yeah, let's do that.
Cool.
So Adam is going to look, obviously, like around the entire plaza square here to the infestation, and he'll turn to his group and say, "Well, you all can hit a bunch of things at the same time. I cannot. Why don't I take care of this big one alongside my new Smoke Brothers, and you take care of all the little friends?" And with that, Adam will, as his bonus action, invoke his Giant's Might to change himself into giant size.
Oh boy, you guys watch as the little robot like telescopes up.
I'm not finished
Wait,
with
do you
this
know?
yet.
Do you not know about this?
Yeah. He can make himself giant size.
Yeah, the 2'9" little like Autodome figure suddenly begins like expanding, telescoping his like body, just like more panels expanding out as he transformers up into like I don't know how tall you are, but like a much
I
more-
think it's 3 times my size or 5 times my size. I don't remember what number, but it is. It's a hefty height, I would say.
He's
Probably
a
not.
big-
Maybe not as large as Reg, but maybe close.
Well, now that's just what we call a grower and not a shower.
Thanks, Daddy. And then Adam is going to run towards the big guy. If I use my bonus action, do I still get 2 attacks? I can't remember.
Yeah. So because of your fighter level, you get 2 attacks around. When you have your bonus action, you can get a third.
Cool. So first attack, Adam is going to do what he did before, which proved somewhat successful, and he'll cleave his hammer down upon the creature. 21
Totally hits.
for 14 points of damage.
Boom! The hammer like smashing down into it as the methods are all kind of like laughing wildly around it.
And so as Adam is swinging across with the hammer, he is going to sort of like do a twirl to hold on to the hammer with one hand. With the other, he is going to shove his hand into the goo in an attempt to grapple the creature.
Oh, nice.
Grapple the goo.
Mm-hmm.
Grapple that goo. Make an
grapple the goo.
athletics check.
That was also my punk band name in high school.
19.
19, and it's gonna make like an opposed here, trying to like pull itself away from you. Yeah, no dice. You managed to like just shove your arm inside, like grabbing a fistful of it from inside, and you're like holding it right in place. It is grappled.
This is so much fun! Everyone touch some goo! That's my turn.
That is Adam's turn. Here, I'll just drop this in the chat to remind us of the conditions of grappled. Yeah, oops, there's that. He is grappled. That's Adam. Lux, you're up on 19.
Yes. Question. There's a little roof over here.
Yeah, little roof.
There's a little roof. How high up is that little roof?
So the first part up is about like 8 feet. That's like a porch roof. The second part up a little higher, but like you could try to climb up there if you want.
Yeah, I think Lux would love to try and get up on the roof. That'd be
Sure. Yeah. If you're willing to like double back to the first roof, you could do it easy. Otherwise, I need an
Yeah.
acrobatics check.
Yeah, I think she'll like try and, get the step up and like certainly.
Got
like,
it.
keep up
So then
there.
like 15 feet gets you right there, right? As you're able to kind of like come bounding up, like vaulting, grabbing the first roof. You pull yourself up, you jump, like grabbing a hold of the second one as you pull up onto the top of it.
Great, and I think that she will come kind of to the apex a little bit over here, and will kind of get herself in the
not corner, but sort of where these all seem to converge for a little bit of stability. And we'll observe the scene and we'll start firing.
Go for it.
Okay. Actually. Oh, decisions. Nah, whatever. Okay. Sorry. Okay, she's gonna look out at the two. Reggie you shot the ones up by the bridge, right?
Yep, everything on top.
All right, so I think Lux is gonna aim at the one right near the one that's on the bridge, for the first attack. And I do think that she's gonna activate Kadras here.
Yes, you feel the vicious bite in your hand.
Oh, that's not what I meant to roll. Not this one is the one I want to roll. The price. Ooh, 9. That's not too bad.
As you feel your life essence draining into the bow while it activates, drawing on your own strength, taking 9 points of necrotic damage. With that, Kadras' eyes glowing red, like, yes, sacrifice begets vengeance.
Just do your job.
And she'll fire at this one over here.
23 hits.
For
10 necrotic damage. Second attack.
And let's do a bonus action planar warrior on this one.
Got it.
24.
Hits.
Foa, 13.
For another 13. It looks badly hurt as you like double tap at the necrotic energy, seemingly like wherever the arrow, as soon as the arrow hits, you watch like this gray expansion around it, almost like all the tissue dies, and it seems to almost like fall out of it, sloughing out as the others are coming next. The second shot tearing into it with the force of, you love these words, right? The force of the spectral arrow. That is your 2 shots, Lux?
Yep, that's it. That's all I got.
That's your full turn. That brings us to this big guy, the moderate malleable. Will
I love these names. The moderate malleable.
I know.
You like that,
Minor
right?
and minor and moderate.
Minor and moderate. Wait till we see major malleable.
Well, that's what we're trying to
Major
prevent,
malleable,
right?
repulsion
Because
to
if a bunch join up, I think it will become rather major.
Probably.
Major malleables, massive malleables. Who's even to say? I mean, there's many multitude
Many
of
malleables.
out there. Yeah, I think it's going to try to hit you here, A.D.A.M, with one of its tendrils as it like rears up. A 10 is unfortunately going to be a miss. I think that it will try to like smash down at one of the methods behind it. 25 hits the method, I would suspect, right?
I was gonna say, is it gonna be a disadvantage anyway? Any of these attacks that they're making?
Oh, because it's grappled. Right. And it's a grapple.
And also flanked as well.
He is flanked. The flanking doesn't matter. The attacks aren't at disadvantage. He just can't move is the problem.
Gotcha.
He has like no movement speed. He's trapped here. He's not at disadvantage. The attack does hit the method, which smashes it for 14 bludgeoning, and it is grappled. It's like holding this back right method, which I'll put a little thing on.
Grappling chain.
Cool.
Yeah, it is. It's like a little daisy chain. You guys can like do a whip like when you're ice skating. That is that big guy. Meanwhile, on 11, I think these guys go, the minor malleables. What's my movement speeds? Right, 30. We watched this one comes like climbing right up. I think this one comes shuffling back. All 4 of these guys merge.
If Reg should have done some things.
Well, you got another turn coming right up to figure it out.
Yeah.
10, 20. Right. This one can dash there. I think this one drops into the water. Sloughing across to here. These guys start pushing their way up, right? 15. He's going to dash to get to here. This one will come forward. I think both of these guys are going to go here. One of them they both actually have to dash to get up here towards you, Lux. As you see, these things are like literally just like rolling over themselves, kind of sticking to the wall, like climbing up onto the roof. 15. These guys also would just like dash, I think, to get to here. That's going to be all of their turns, as those guys were all able to join these two making it up to the back. That's really all they do is start like uniting. Naya, you're watching like horror struck running in as these things are like merging together. You are up.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna imbue Naya a little bit with Kevin's own experience here, where I think when Naya first runs in, it's a very just like, oh, this place is lovely. Look at all this. This is really nice. And then not noticing the goo at first, starts seeing everyone attacking stuff and them forming within like these 6 seconds. And it's just like, oh, what the hell? And as they get kind of shocked for a moment, a light flashes across them, and Crusader's mantle goes up. And so everyone within 30 feet of Naya, whenever they do any sort of a weapon attack, they get an extra 1d4 radiant damage to them.
Oh, dude!
And so Naya's just like, okay, that's new, but fun and interesting. I like that. However, that is a spell and that is an action. So Naya will draw their sword and move over here, I guess, to this close one for now, because they want to keep the third. Thank you for that, Rachel. Over here, so that way everyone's still in the radius. Great.
Got it. You come like racing down, kind of like jumping back up onto the walkway next to this mephit that is squared up. This one little malleable, like just making its way slowly towards the big guy. That is Naya's turn. On 0, I think D is gonna go.
D!
He shows up down here. He's
Fence.
he's got to try to do something. He's not like totally useless and going to abandon you guys. He comes rolling in down here. Oh yeah, one of these would be great.
Oh, there's more farther down the map. Oh my
Yeah, I
God.
stand by the little squid house or whatever that is in the lower right-hand
He
corner.
probably doesn't want to cast a firestorm over the whole town, right? That would feel pretty bad.
Oh
Yeah.
my
I mean, listen, there's been a lot of property damage. Sometimes you just need to start over.
I mean,
Only you
listen,
know
gosh,
what he
I
wants
get
to
it.
do.
You have Firestorm. It's real hard to resist that.
It really is very hard to resist. I think there is this point where like a storm appears on the roof right next to you, Lux, as ice begins like hammering down on all 4 of these little guys that are kind of crawling towards you. And they fail a bunch of saving throws,
fail.
all of them taking
Ow.
like 17 points of damage as ice comes like hammering down on top of all of them. They all seem a bit banged up at this point, but they're still coming for you. That is D's turn. Professor, you're up, top of the round.
Okay. Goodness. These boys have a fly speed of 30 feet. So I think goodness. I think the professor will like see squad B like coming in behind and be like, "You there." And we'll point up to where Lux is and send reinforcements up with Lux.
I just imagine them like a bunch of gremlins, you know, like
Which is like very un-Reggie, but also like kind of fascinatingly Reggie. I don't know.
it's very on brand for the Dragonfly. I mean.
And I think that's pretty much the farthest they could reasonably go. It's just to be like another like point of contact for this. I'm just trying to think if like would they swarm? I think they would. I think I would Reg would tell them like, you know, swarm the goo. And so they would actually use their action to dash
Okay.
and swarm the goos.
Swarm the goose.
Swarm the goose.
and then Lux can pluck off whatever she wants. For his action, I think Reg is now going to he's in experimentation mode. He is going to cast a Scorching Ray upon the goo.
Okay.
And he's just gonna see big goos. How do we handle the Scorching Rays? The fire. So, first one, 25 to hit.
Totally hits.
8 fire damage.
As the fire hits it, the flesh burns. It makes this like bubbling, very inhuman sound. But it appears to be burning this thing, yeah.
Good.
It tickles my hand.
Yes. Next Scorching Ray, 23 to hit for 11 fire damage.
Yep.
And finally, 21 to hit with 5 fire damage. On top of which he will add a power surge for some number of damage, which I think might be my intelligence mod. Nope, that's how many I can store. My proficiency, right? Which is now +4, so 4 more damage.
Wow, yeah, you guys are badass. The big one now like smoking in front of you, as it were, Adam, as you're like holding it with the one hand, Reginald blasting it with these fire beams from behind in between the smoke methods.
Yeah, and I think he'll just like take a little step back, like a little general looking over his battlefield. Not quite the general, but well, this is going well.
Closer. I think in the sky, meanwhile, we see like the dragonfly like surging towards this like skeletal whale in the air. The whale like kind of like pushing further along the horizon. The dragonfly like chasing it as it grows smaller in the sky. Adam, you're up.
Yeah, so Adam, since I'm grappling him with one hand, I would imagine I cannot make 2 attacks nor a two-handed attack unless I want to drop him.
Correct, Amundo. Yeah, if you want to drop the grapple, you can use your offhand.
No problem. Here's what I want to do. Still holding on to this creature, Adam is going to whirl around and just slam behind him into the little one that was trying to join the family reunion.
Okay.
So let's see. That's the natural 20.
Nice.
Yeah, you come like circling around, your arm still like wedged inside the big one as you pivot around it, the hammer like smashing into the ground on this guy. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay, so it is going to be, so it'll be 16 plus 7, 23 plus a d4 or 2d4?
2d4 because you double up for nat 20.
All right, well, not a great roll, but that is 27 damage.
27 points of damage as you smash the hammer down in. Most of this thing is like completely crushed, obliterated. There is still a little bit of it moving along towards the big one. You do have your second attack.
Am I able to just step on it?
Sure, yeah, go for it.
What would that be?
Make the same attack as the Warhammer. It'll just be a different kind of base damage.
Okay. 26.
Yeah, you raise your foot and stomp down into it, into the ground, dealing like base damage. Yeah, that's fine. It's destroyed. It only had 5 hit points left as you stomp it down, like grinding it into the stone, obliterated before it can join with its bigger cousin here.
And I think the animal looked to Naya like, look, I have some on my boot.
Gross.
He would give a thumbs up, but his other hand is inside a goo monster.
I think
and
he
with
does.
that, he will end his turn.
He does. He's in fact like some.
He's like,
It's almost like one of those pin boards with like the goo monster's head transforms into a thumbs up, like slowly.
Oh, actually, you know what? Last thing Adam will do is he will then pivot himself back around, now holding up the goo monster as a shield.
Okay, you have to go one step further. You just can't end your space where the methods are, you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, you can like circle around it, like holding the goo monster like a tower shield in front of you. Lux, you're up on 19. An army of methods has come like surging past you and like squared up with this wave of malleables crawling along the roof towards you.
Love it. Yeah, I think Lux like thanks, Reggie. And will kind of frustratingly look at this one that just became a moderate malleable, and let's bonus action Hunter's Market.
Okay.
Hunter's Market. That's where I go to shop for all my camo.
My flannel too. Yeah. Well preserved brains.
You're so disappointed in me, Taylor, and
That was incredible.
You're just really on fire tonight.
It really is. It's
That's
fantastic.
electric.
No, those
Yes.
Really just
that
fired.
moderate malleables was on fire.
Yeah.
I told you I got a full night's of sleep. A full night.
You had a good day. You had a good day today.
I had a good day today.
Yeah.
I set
like
off camera
days
before we
straight.
started.
There
I
you
had
go.
nonstop meetings, but it felt like running a marathon with friends. So I'm here.
Doing good. Okay. Question also, Kevin. Does Crusader's
Yes.
Mantle, is that for like would that count for my bow attacks? Also,
Any
I guess any weapon.
Weapon.
Let's go.
What a
Look at
little
all that-
badass.
Look at all that damage.
Yeah,
I love it so much.
I will
Okay.
double check. This is when it hits with a weapon attack.
I love it so much. Okay. Then yeah, Lex is gonna fire at the big guy across the bridge.
Okay.
With all that.
You're going for the big moderate malleable.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, the one across that formed across the bridge.
Gotcha. Yep.
All right, first attack. 23.
Hits.
Here comes all the damage.
That's a D4.
Yep, I've got everything all in there.
Oh, nice, that was it.
Yeah. That's math. 20. Is that 22? Did I do that?
Is
22.
22. The arrow like shrieking from the
Necrotic.
rooftop over the bridge, like hammering into this thing, just shredding right through it.
Great. Second attack. 22.
Yeah, 22 hits.
Awesome. For another 17.
Got it.
I love that all of this is just a mixture of the Hunter's Mark and Radiant and just Kadras is just like the necrotic damage. Just
You're
really
firing these like necrotic arrows with this like yellowish divine energy
Oh.
channeled from the Crusader's Mantle and your Hunter's Mark. They're like hammering into this thing, like huge kind of chunks of it blasting away each time you hit it, Lux. That's your action. That's your bonus action. That's your turn.
Yeah, she'll take a step back, but that'll be it.
Rich, I realized that I moved Squad B methods, but I didn't do anything with Squad A methods on my turn. The
No.
ones that is that okay for
Yeah,
them to
totally.
get some claw attacks in? And these are natural
Also, wait,
weapons, so they get
Lux,
a plus.
Maybe one more to the right.
What do they get from Naya?
Oh yeah, if ooh, interesting. It says weapon, so I don't know.
It's considered a weapon attack.
Yeah,
a
it's
claw.
natural
Oh,
weapon
then great.
attack.
1d4.
Okay.
Every single time it hits. So it's not just
That is to hit 1d4
Damage.
No, damage. Sorry.
damage. Okay, cool. All right, well that one doesn't hit. That one might hit. Yeah, 18. That's one of the flanking ones. Then that's a 20, and then a 15.
Yeah, so you got 3 hits right there.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna go 1, 2, 3, and then I'll roll 3d4.
You got
On
it.
the
These guys are
damage.
bosses, man.
I'm telling you, summoning spells. This is what I was saying. As a DM, sometimes like it can feel a little bit like an annoyance as a DM because you're like, oh, it's locking down my energy.
No,
But
they're
in
really
reality,
powerful.
like it's really cool. You're doing as much damage as a fireball over
It
time.
feels really good as a player to be able to do that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that is a
Got a
total.
minion.
24 points of slashing damage.
You got it. 24 points of slashing damage indeed, as they are like tearing and rending and clawing away at this thing, like just ripping pieces of it off from the ground, smoke wafting up from them. There you go. That's Team A.
Great, thank you. And
No
Team B is
Okay, 30 feet, right? Right.
think
and
we
to be
deleted
clear,
one of
Reggie
the-
would not call them Team A and Team B. They would be Team Alpha and Team Beta, or Team Beta.
I was not gonna say Team 1 and Team A to not pick favorites.
Beta carotene.
No. He would probably come up with some sort of like historical reference of the various squadrons, and I just don't have it in me to come up with that.
Just
but-
gold team, blue team, Troy. That's what you need to go for, you know.
yeah. Gold squadron leader.
This
Those
guy.
X-Men in the 90s, Rich? What are you doing?
Yeah, I know. How dare I, right? This guy comes shuffling forward, right? 10, 20, 30. He's going to get to here. This one is all still tangled up. What a brute. I think this one actually then is going to have to dash for its action as it comes circling in. This one then, oh, yeah, okay.
It could break the grapple, right? Or try
Yeah,
to.
it could, but it does not need to. As I think that like the second one comes like lurching, like almost like this kind of horrific slinky made of like silly putty rolling itself down the bridge as it like comes lurching up over the methods for a moment, like this wave of flesh about to crash down on them. But it's almost like the reverse pour as like the top of it arches over and the one that like is being grappled by A.D.A.M arches up, and the two of them like connect at the top as it like siphons into itself the immensity of the second one, creating where there one was two moderate malleables. Now one, where am I at? I have to double check.
Is it major?
Major malleable.
It is a major malleable, yeah.
Major.
As major
Ew, look at it,
appears.
so gross.
Oh my god, this is so fun.
It's
I hate it.
So gross.
pretty good, right? It's
Oh my
pretty
God.
good.
It's just squishing the methods up against the wall of this structure.
Yeah, basically, the map is like smashed back into the wall. It's like your arm is still inside of it, A.D.A.M, while it like surges up into like this immense kind of size.
Is it still technically hunter's marked?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
it
guess
is.
that's the question. Like, what identity has it assumed at this point?
Yeah.
The two of them,
Who took whose name?
right? The two of them have merged, thus acquiring all kind of characteristics held by either of them. So it's hunter marked and it's grappled and it's like surrounded and flanked. It's definitely like taking a bit of damage. It's not at full health. As meanwhile, these other two are just going to try to come dashing down the road, right?
Dashing down the road.
Troy.
Am I just in it too much today? Is it
No.
just
No, not enough. More. I want more.
more?
These guys also able to just come kind of dashing across. These four, meanwhile, though, are all going to attack. Oh no, they're not. They
But like they're not
all-
gonna merge? Yeah, that's good.
No, they all proceed to like surge up into this one major malleable or moderate malleable over here on the roof. Taylor,
Oops.
lunging up in front of all these little methods. We're gonna put him right there and re-add him to the initiative. Cool.
Brody.
Re-Adam. God, it's already enough Adams here.
What is plenty enough?
708, and then this guy is on 17, and that actually is their turn. This is a tough thing, is that none of them are actually attacking anything as they keep joining. Nonetheless, Naya, you're up.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah, so Naya's gonna move forward to here. I guess is that where can I get into its space but not be? I guess here.
Yes, you could go like
Okay.
there.
Okay, great. So I will go there and I will start attacking it. Let's do first attack. Is 19.
Hits.
2 plus 5. So 7 slashing. And I'll do second attack. That's 12 plus 9, 21.
Oh yeah, hits.
And oh wait, sorry for that first one. I forgot to do my D4.
Oh
I was
yeah.
gonna say, are you adding your own
You do.
Crusaders mantle?
Commanders, man.
Yeah, so that's 9 on the first one then.
Got
And then
it.
for the second one, it hits, so I will also do a level 1 smite on it.
Oh, nice.
So that's 3d8 plus Crusader. Alright. For 12, 15.
Altogether.
Yeah, 15 altogether.
Got it. As we see like the divine energy surge down the blade, Einreeve like cleaving into this big flesh monstrosity. Yeah, that's your attacks. Bonus action. Anything else?
No, under bonus action, but wanting to make sure that Lux is gonna I think Lux is in the circle, so as long as I stay here, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm
I
good.
don't think Lux is gonna do any movement, so then this is good. I'm fine for now.
Okie doke. That will bring us to the end of the round to D. He goes. These two have like come up on top of him, so he's gonna have to just like deal with this problem that's on his toes.
Yeah, there's no way Reggie sees that. Ugh.
I see him down there.
Oh yeah, he just gives him one of these. The sun beam, like, emerges out of the flame.
Jesus.
It's like he fires.
He's fine,
this
Reg.
beam
He's fine.
at the pair of them. He'll
You all
probably
even
be
knew
okay.
what I was
Let's
just
go,
working on,
Druid!
what I was just reading a second ago before this. Let's just say there's enough light.
Baby.
Oh yeah, they both fail and are just straight up like evaporated by the sunlight that he's like blaring off of them. As he then like turns, he's going to start trying to make his way up here towards you guys. That is his turn. Professor, you're up on 22.
Oh goodness. We want some light. Fine. And he will have the methods will move their dancing lights that were forming the runway back and just create some swirling lights up over our little battlefield here, just for flavor. And then let's
Adam's dancing with his arm inside the giant thing.
Rich, are you okay with me kind of moving this method to be maybe
Yeah.
I'll move him over here
Wherever you want.
Yeah, I just want to be like somewhat accurate to reality given, you know, this map. Okay, let's start with
I think he like got smashed through the wall, right? And he comes like jumping out of a window on the backside of that house, like.
yeah, cool. Okay, let's start with the smoke methods. Team Beta are gonna claw at the bottom here with advantage. They're outside of the range of Naya. So 18, 17, 11, 16.
3 hits.
Great. And that is 16 total slashing damage on the one
Got
down
it.
the middle there. The ones at the top, I think the Cinder Breath's not doing anything that we can tell. So I think it's going to yep, they're just gonna claw again, but I don't think with advantage, right? Because this thing is huge now.
Yes, true.
So we're gonna go an 18 and a 20 probably hit.
Yes, they do. The
Okay.
11 misses.
That is 11 points of
And
slashing
remember the
damage.
D4s.
And then we do get 2d4 on top of that. So that's another 3 points. So a total of 14 points of damage from Team Alpha.
Got it.
And then Reg is going to do something. What is he going to do?
Hot.
The creatures combining don't appear to be any sort of spell. It just appears to be like an innate ability, right? Interesting. Give me a moment, please. Would Reggie, like, now seeing these creatures ooze together, have any sense of like what they are, and in particular any sort of vulnerability or you know, things that would help him make choices about types of damage?
You can make an Arcana or a History check about them.
Okay. Let's go with a history check. See if I've read anything about them.
Yeah, it's been nothing but 3 months reading, hopefully.
26.
Okay, 26. You know explicitly what these things are. You have never fought them in the field. You have read about them. They were created by mind flayers, as many terrible monsters out here in the world were. They are created by mind flayers out of the like dead and bodies of mind-controlled doppelgangers. And they are fundamentally these malleable creatures. They are just this kind of like literal formless flesh that can construct themselves into nearly any shape one might imagine. They have a supposedly profound memory. Some debate that they are one of like the earliest weapons created by the mind flayers in their origins, in their many origin worlds far beyond this galaxy, and that these creatures are hoarders of ancient knowledge. There are rumors that they retain memories of each individual living entity that is like made part of the amalgamation. They can separate as easily as they bind. When they take like big hits of damage, they can like break into a bunch of tiny malleables that are flanking you. They're immune to psychic damage. They're immune to being prone and blind. They don't have any particular vulnerabilities.
Okay, but Reggie
Did you
knowing,
say they're undead?
No, they are
Oh,
aberrations.
but I will say this.
They were made of dead mind flayers, but they're not technically undead.
Reggie begins to like cast a spell almost and like reaches up toward his forehead and then like flashes back to what he's read about them, finding out that they're immune to psychic damage, and immediately is like, oh no. And then changes course, kind of opens up his hand, and out from the Astromancy archive spinning wheel comes let's go with a 4th level chromatic orb.
Oh, baby.
Of type fire.
Okay.
And he will also use the clockwork amulet in order to ensure that it is a 19 to hit.
19 absolutely hits. The orb, the chromatic orb, surging out of the Astromancy archive, hammering into the big one. Fortunate to have changed your spell, as even if you think more carefully, you're like, I think that psychic damage even heals them. So that was a very good pivot.
I mean, that makes sense, right? Like, mind flayers replying a little south to
Definitely
it.
about to do that. I'm glad I asked what
Like
Reggie would
yes.
know. Okay, ignore the roll to hit. That is 32 points of fire damage.
Very, very nice.
Hell yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, the orb like burning itself deep into the like mass of this thing as it does a significant amount of damage.
And that is Reggie's turn.
Okay. Which brings us to Adam.
Fun. Okay, so let me see. Do I want to do something? Do I want to be starting something? Well,
That song's not going to be in my head for days, Mike.
you know what? Yeah, I think first as his bonus action, you will see one of Adam's eyes glow red as he will indeed enact his fire rune program. Fabricated incendiary restrains enemies. And with that, he now with no little things to beat up on and one big old thing to beat up on, he's just gonna start beating at his newfound goo shield and see what happens. So first attack, 17.
Hits.
Oh, nice. Really cool. All right, so that is going to be... All right, so let's do this first. So it is going to be... Oh, you
Boo
kidding
that
me.
one. Boo that one.
That's all right. I still got the D4.
Min.
So that is going to be 8 bludgeoning damage, but it is also going to be 5 more fire damage on top of that.
Nice. Okay.
How's it looking right now?
Pretty smoky. You know, it has been burned. It's surrounded by like the cascade of dancing smoke methods. Like it looks pretty torn up, though this bigger one, like it's hard to gauge. It's like kind of life force, as it were, right? But
so
yes.
technically, in invoking this rune, a set of fiery shackles are now summoned upon it. Now, the fact that it has many arms, I'm not sure how many it may apply to, but just imagine like an entire, I don't know, almost like those paper links you make in kindergarten, just across all the tendrils on this creature.
I love it. Let us. Does it have to make a saving throw or anything?
It does at the top of its turn.
Okay, got it. So it's just straight up restrained. It takes an extra 2d6 fire damage.
And it must succeed on. Oh no, it has to succeed on a straight saving throw now. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got a decent strength. 17. What's your proficiency modifier and your strength modifiers there, Adam?
Strength modifier is 8.
Oh yeah, so the DC then would be 16. He does make his saving throw, so he's not restrained. He does take the extra fire damage.
Let me just clarify something, and I don't want to cheese it too much.
No, please.
But like, Reggie's seeing this for the first time. Does he get a sense that this whatever A.D.A.M is attempting to do is almost successful, or
yes, it's like ridiculously close? Yes.
Okay, I think Reg would then like twist the Astromancy archive once. And cause a D4 to be subtracted from the roll.
Nice. One of you guys can roll it, but he will. Yeah. You need
Adam,
2 or higher.
Here, Adam, go ahead and roll a 1d4.
All right. That's a 4.
Yes, it fails. I think that like as it's like ripping through the burning chains, Reg like twisting the Astromancy archive, like kind of hooks into the conduit of magic, doubling them up around the tendrils as the thing is held down. So that's your first attack. It is now restrained, and now all attack rolls have advantage against it, and it has disadvantage on its attack rolls. So you can make your second attack, Mike.
All right, let's do it. He'll just keep on swinging here for 24.
Hits.
Yes.
There we go. That's better. 14 bludgeoning damage.
Nice. Yes, it is looking like pretty torn up at this point, like chained down by the fiery chains, battered, blasted, smashed. It looks pretty significantly hurt. Adam, that's your action. I don't know if you have a bonus action, anything else?
Yeah, I use that to invoke the rune, so I'm just gonna stay on put. Cool. I'm having a good time.
That'll bring us to Lux. Awesome. As this thing is now like chained to the ground by fire. It is like torched, scorched, burned, and battered. What would you like to do, Lux?
Gosh, this is like Christmas. Lux for bonus action because it's a planar warrior. And attack at advantage of this giant thing. 30.
The 30.
Woo!
With almost all of my extra damage is checked. Oh, this
Ranger
feels so good.
things. Wow.
Wow.
For 24 points of damage, Lux. Got it.
Second attack.
24.
4. Oh, 15.
Another 15. Still not bad. Not bad at all. As you like blast it with the second arrow, Lux, the thing is like held down, torched, burned, like pieces of it blasting off with each shot of the arrow into it, Lux. That's your action. Movement bonus action, anything like that?
That's all I got.
Okay. That will bring us to its turn. It is restrained. When it can repeat the saving throw at the end of its turn, right?
I believe it's,
but it takes 2d6 fire at the beginning of its turn.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll another 2d6 fire for me, Adam.
7.
Yeah, it's like burning and torched and scorched and like really feeling bad. It will proceed to like lunge out at everybody. Where am I here?
It's just lunging out at the world for what it
Yeah,
does.
it's going to go. These are all at disadvantage because it is restrained. So
it's going to cast Moody Teenager.
Exactly. 1 for Adam. 14 is a miss.
It's a miss.
Another for Adam. 15 is probably a miss. One
That's
for
a miss,
Yana.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Naya.
Yana.
Why do I do it all the time? 23.
That's the 23. Yeah, that hits.
It can't get the
Woo,
man who
first
has, like,
damage
held it
taken.
down,
This
but
this
it's going to
session.
like wail on you. You take 16 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are grappled, Naya, as it like hammers down into you, grabbing you with this
Foolish.
tendril.
Okie doke.
These two little guys come forward for the Mephits, flanking with advantage. So 22 and 23.
Both hit.
So your top Mephit will take 8 bludgeoning damage and be grappled. The bottom Mephit taking 12. I think it's destroyed.
It is, and it explodes into a poof of cloud of smoke and steam, and it obscures the area around it for a brief amount of time. And I'll drop the exact explanation in the chat in a second.
Okie doke, and then that'll just bring us to this one last big one over there. So I think something like that happens. And then, yeah, this guy is going to try to... Yeah, it's going to just try to smash the guy in front of it and get to the terrible archer in the back. So 2 shots for the Mephit will be 24 and 19 for 20 points of bludgeoning damage. Homeboy is still up. And
Yep.
grappled.
Amazing.
And that is all of their turns as we get to Naya.
I'm gonna swing at it, and I believe it's an advantage.
Sure is, as the chains are holding it down. It did get a new saving throw at the end of its turn, which I
Oh, yeah,
totally
you
forgot.
Oh, you can go ahead and do it if you want.
14 fails.
Failed. Yep, still restrained.
So that one is 16.
Hits.
Great. Quick roll, regular. Oh, double 1 on the damage. That's a 2.
Oh!
Painful. Painful. All right. Well, second attack.
But it's 2 plus what? Plus your strength modifier, plus 1d4, plus all that other stuff, right?
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no problem.
Still
Don't let the dice break your will like that, Kevin.
5. So 7.
Plus the 1d4, right?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I
Oh,
rolled
okay.
1 on both the sword
gosh.
and the radiant damage.
Oh gosh,
1.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's fine. Second attack. Natural 20.
Nice.
So I think we know what's about to happen on that.
This is it's called Paladin Smiting.
Yes, indeed. Sound of Thunder as smite at
I
level
might do something
2.
interesting here.
Reggie's like, I add a D4 against Naya. It's like, why?
No.
The heel turn's coming.
Oh my god, wouldn't
Yeah.
that be amazing?
I don't want you to hit. I
The
want
Q
to
was a lie. I've been an evil gift this entire time.
Well
No. Betrayal.
That's quite interesting, isn't it?
You want me to wait for what you're doing, or?
No.
I was joking.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I made a
so
slight joke.
oh, I see. Yeah. So Sound of Thunder ringing out as. Oh, God, math. Okay, so level 2 would be 3d8 on its own.
Raid.
So 6d8.
Raid?
Raid.
Oh,
Is there a
cool.
raid?
What?
Hi.
Hello.
Monsters are coming in.
A raid? Hey, thank you for the raid, East Coast Game
Hello.
Machine. Hello.
Hi.
We
I don't know what raid is,
are
but I love it.
battling some.
We're crit smiting.
We're crit
Yeah.
smiting.
God,
We
you
are
showed
crit
up
smiting,
just in
that's
time for the
accurate.
Paladin Crit Smite. Perfect timing. Thank you very much, East Coast Gaming Machine, for raiding us.
Yes.
Yeah, we're playing D&D in space.
Indeed.
Let's do it.
We're fighting gooey flesh monsters that hold us
And
in
we're
one
kicking
thing.
their
Talk about it.
butts.
We are doing
Brody.
pretty well. Okay, so
Famous
it's
last words.
okay. So I think it's my sword, the 3 for the smite, so that's 4d8, right? That's how it
Mhm.
normally is. Double,
Mhm.
so 8d8 plus 2d4.
2d4 plus 5.
Okay.
Holy
+5.
moly.
Okay, I'm just gonna do it in roll 20.
He's got the first level smite with the longsword with Crusader's mantle on the crit.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so here's 5 and 3.
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
Oh my god.
What is that? 38,
Yeah,
44, 49 points of damage.
49 points of damage, plus the 7 from earlier. So really, it balances itself out.
Yeah, it's a big 56. So we watch as Naya, the like green-skinned Verdan in this wooden plate mail, with Einreeve, the dragon slaying sword glowing. You cleave down into the flesh that has all like joined into this kind of like monstrous, gigantic sort of entity heaving up in the middle of the street. As you cleave into it, the thunder peal explodes. And with that, Naya, this thing is destroyed. Yeah, what does it look like as this major malleable is decimated from the world of the living?
Yeah, I think as the sword slices through it, that sound rings out, and you see from inside out cracks and stuff of glowing yellow light starts cracking through this creature until it like essentially spreads, but like it doesn't explode, but like almost disintegrates from the inside out. Similar to that frog that we killed, that frog Hemoth. I really hope this one didn't have a name.
Yeah, someone's like, no, our god,
No.
you killed it.
Yeah.
This one
Not
had
again.
many names.
Our
It had
major
many
malleable,
names.
he kept our planet safe.
I love the idea that Major Malleable is like a military title, you know, it's a Major Malleable.
He was a
Naya.
war hero, damn it, and you killed him.
That's your action. You still have movement and a bonus action. I think the smoke method's next to you, like, I think you hear the voice of your sword in your hand of like, I do hate fighting these non-draconic entities, but you make it look so elegant, Swordmaster.
I am pretty great. What can I say? And I think I'll use my movement to head this way. How much do I got? 30. I have to jump on top of this though, right?
Yes.
So I think 15 plus 15 will still put me next to Lux. So I will do that.
You got it. You managed to be able to jump. You're a very strong individual as you like jump up, grabbing the edge of the roof, kind of pulling yourself up onto the tiles next to Lux onto the roof. The dancing lights cascading over the professor behind you. D, the druid, he's like stalking up from down below as he kind of gets a look at this last malleable squaring up on the roof, surrounded by mephits as it was. D is going to, that's not going to work so great. Oh, he still has this bad boy up, doesn't he?
Sunbeam.
Yeah, his trouble is about not nuking your mephits, but I think that he's
It's
less
okay.
concerned about that.
Nuke 'em.
Yeah, I think he like ducks into the alley here and just points up as like this radiant beam of light comes streaking away from D, blasting into the mephit up here, taking 2 of the smoke mephits. So I'm going to need you to make 2 constitution saves for your smoke mephits here. Troy.
That's fine. Totally okay. That's a 9 and a 9.
Let's go, Druid.
Well, they take 32 points of radiant damage as the beam of sunlight just like vaporizes.
I think the mephits are
them.
dead. I think. Oh, they died.
It's the sunbeam, so they just like, is it the sunbeam?
Yes.
They just like sizzle in the sun.
What's for dinner?
And then as it like, just as it like, they shrink down into like the little like smoke raisin that they are, then
Smoke raisins.
they burst into a death burst and create a cloud, a 5-foot radius cloud that obscures the space.
Okay, you got it.
I'm never gonna
Five.
not think of mephits turning into raisins before they explode.
I know. Mephits and raisins, they share a lot of attributes, you know? Quite similar. That's Dee's turn. Professor, you are up on 22. The Professor Reginald Frybottom.
The Professor Reginald Frybottom, Giff-Q War Magic Professor. Now seeing the greatest foe vanquished before us, is now just here to mop up the battlefield, as one would say. What are we to do? Well, first, let's get our smoke methods taking out these creatures. So we're gonna go a little there and a little there, and then we're gonna go here and we're gonna go here, and Team Alpha strike. And let's see, the first one's gonna go with advantage because of flanking. The second one is restrained, I think. Do the small ones get restrained?
They're both grappled, so they're actually not restrained.
Oh, they're not restrained.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep, just grappled.
So
Can't be.
we got a 16 and a 21 to the ooze up top.
Both hit.
Great. Both of those occur outside of the radius of our fair paladin.
Unfortunately.
So that is 9 points of slashing to the upper ooze.
Got it.
And then the one below it, natural 20.
This is a good night tonight.
Method going hard.
Oh, popping off.
6 slashing damage.
Doing his best, guys.
Team Beta here at the bottom is gonna attack with advantage twice. So we've got a regular hit and then a natural 20.
They're avenging their failed brothers that burned up in the sun.
Both of these are within our paladin's range, so we get an extra
Ones.
D4. So that is a total of 11, so 13 points of slashing damage upon our medium mortal here. And
Oh my gosh.
I guess I should actually take an action now as a wizard.
The light like just cascading down upon you, Professor. The dancing lights like just shimmering over you as you're like looking.
Swirling.
The
It's like a
methods,
disco.
yeah, the methods. I think like shouting affirmations at one another in primordial. We love this conjurer. Yes, he's so tactical. Yes.
Oh, that's so
Oh, what on earth could go wrong? What is Earth? And then he will.
What on home planet could go wrong?
Yes. I think he will decide to preserve his spell slots and cast. Interesting. Yes. Nope. That's not going to happen. We're not doing any psychic damage here.
Right.
We're
Don't do
also
that.
not
Come
doing
on,
that
give him
psychic
the psychic
damage.
glance. Let's see what happens.
Does the Reg have a sense of whether the one up on the roof here or any of the smaller ones being surrounded by A.D.A.M and the methods are low in hit points?
A.D.A.M and the methods, another good
The
bait.
one on the roof is pretty badly hurt after being like sunbeamed. Yeah.
Okay. Then he will use his action to cast a firebolt. Is there anything else I want to do with this turn? I think we're just going to cast a classical firebolt. Here we go.
Firebolt.
17 to hit for 16 points of fire damage.
At the one on the roof.
At the one on the roof with a
You-
cantrip.
Got it. I think like screaming past Naya's shoulder comes this firebolt. Your blonde hair kind of like pulled by like the air as it flies past. And yeah,
Red,
Reginald,
old,
what is it?
Old picture.
Oh yeah, my bad. The art, Kevin. I can't keep up with it. What does it look like, Reginald?
You
As
best
this
not.
thing is incinerated to death.
I mean, I think it starts with just like the methods just like slashing natural 20 extra damage supported by the paladin here, and just like the ooze, the blood and the viscera is just being slashed to pieces, and it's almost creating like a blood cloud of its own here that's swirling in with the dark kind of cloud of the poofed methods recently that were formerly method raisins. And I think just as it's like, you know, ascending to a crescendo of death here, Reg will reach out and cast the firebolt that will be guided by the guiding lights in toward, and just like almost like Luke's thing in the Death Star at the end of episode 4, we'll just be like,
Yes.
Nice shot, kid.
Let's go home.
Yes, the womp rats. never
cinematic
stood a
enough for
chance.
you? Cinematic
Yeah.
enough? Okay.
Yeah.
pretty good.
One in a
That's pretty
million.
good.
We'll take it. With that, Adam, you are up as this massive malleable in front of you, like destroyed, kind of just smoke rising up off of the flesh that is pooled in the street in front of you. What would you like to do?
What's is there anything like covering his arm right now? Like has goo been left behind?
Yeah, there's definitely some like viscera and flesh, like tendril of like skin and hair and the whole.
I'm glad
deal.
you said that word. With a free action, Nemo, the little baby Gigantomoth, will crawl out of Adam's armor and start gnawing on the flesh that's on his arm.
Forgot about that thing.
We see like the caterpillar.
No.
Eating as it like emerges from underneath the
I
armor.
thought you were just cackling for a second, Rich. I didn't think you were doing the sounds of.
No, that's
Yeah.
caterpillar sound. Yeah, if you ever listen, I like to
Yeah.
spend
Really
my
close to
summers
the
out
No.
there with my stethoscope underneath leaves, Troy. Like, sounds a lot like eating Captain Crunch, surprisingly. Yes.
Full
Full
circle.
circle, baby.
Eat up, you want to grow nice and big and strong like me. And speaking of such, so Adam will step up into this nice little area that happens to be in between two of these things. So the first thing he will do is, is there one that looks a little bit more beaten down than the other one?
They're both comparable. Both of them have like
Okay.
taken a little bit of a hit from the methods.
Cool. So first thing I am going to do then is at the bottom one, I will strike with the Warhammer. Ooh.
Oh,
I'm going to use my Runic Shield to reroll that.
oh, wow.
27.
Hits.
And that is going to be for 16 bludgeoning damage. And as part of Giant's Might, I have the option to also move it, I believe, 5 feet if I want to.
Yeah, where do you want to move it?
I want to move it southeast, if possible, aka toppling over that ledge.
You just give him the croquet ball pop, boom, and like chunk him down as he like it lifts up off the air. This thing like kind of whirling as it falls down. You can roll an additional d6 while it like crashes into the stone down below.
2.
2, got it. It hits the ground with like this wet thud. It's still alive down there, but you have gotten it the heck out of the way.
Well, he's gonna
Wet
follow
Thud
it
was my summer camp name.
as Adam is going to then, using the ledge as a step from the top rope, jump down, swinging the hammer onto it as he hits the ground.
Okay,
Oh my
Rowdy
God,
Roddy
he just
Adam.
came off the top rope. Oh my God, can you believe it? He just stomped him to hell.
25
25 totally hits.
for 6 bludgeoning damage.
For 6 bludgeoning damage. Adam, you obliterate this thing. Wait, do you have the extra d4? You don't, right?
I don't.
No, sadly.
It's still, there's still like a little bit of viscera even like clinging to the side of the bridge, dragging itself up.
Rich,
But
Rich does not round up. Rich,
Amazing,
the
I
points
love it.
of
I love it.
You know what? You gotta respect it. That's
I
DMing.
respected
Absolutely.
him immensely.
I'm sorry.
I know, I do. I love it.
I'm brutal like that. But I think that Adam, as you jump off the bridge, you hit this like other long ship that's in here, which due to the mass of your size, I think the whole ship cartwheels up, crashing into the bottom of the bridge. And there is like this catapult of produce into the air as like yams and pineapples come like flying
My
through the air in this like tumbling kind of cartwheel raining down off the building all around. Like the rest of the ship's kind of rocking in the canal, crashing into the edges of it, Adam. That was your action, your movement. You have a little more movement and a bonus action if there's anything else.
Yeah, I think I'm good. I don't think there's anything else I can
You could bonus action with your offhand, actually, now that I'm thinking.
Oh, I can? Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
then let me do that. Let me see if I can just take one more little swing at it. I'll try the flail this time. 19
Yeah, hits.
for 11 damage.
And with that, I think as like you're like standing in the river, the boat like kind of crashing into you, the water wheel next to you is like dumping water down on your head as you bring the flail in this like huge arc, kind of scraping this thing off the side of the wall. It is destroyed. Adam, you have a little more movement, but otherwise that's your turn.
I think Adam will start to wade his way back over to the stairs to try to get up.
Up to the other side.
This is now the third session in a row that he has found himself like walking
That's true.
through
You're
a
always
large
ending up
body
in
of water.
water.
Yeah, as a giant man.
He's an amphibious robot. Who'd have guessed it? Lux, you are up.
Yeah. I think that Lux sees Adam kind of jumping all over the place. And so she's gonna she's gonna do a fun little. Also, I totally forgot to talk about this. I've forgot about it multiple times now. One of Lux's favorite enemies are aberrations.
Wow.
This whole
So
time.
I imagine she knows a bit about them, but that's besides the point. Lux sees Adam jumping around, and yeah, she's gonna kind of smile at Naya and will kind of run off of the roof, and is gonna do like a little front flip and fire her arrows. The last one.
Front flip.
We're just all showing off tonight.
Okay.
Everybody's jumping around doing fun stuff. Why not? Planar warrior bonus action. 23.
23 totally hits.
Great. Ba-boom.
That's 20 points of damage, Lux. Your front flip not inhibiting your accuracy as you fire into this aberration. The second attack, it's still up. You like hit the ground coming up from the crouch, the multicolored dancing lights kind of washing over you. That hits.
Chow.
Ka-chow.
As you fire a
15.
second shot for 15 points of damage and just blast this thing to oblivion, destroying the last of these kind of flesh amalgamations that have been dropped from the skeletal whale circling in the upper atmosphere. With that, your enemies dispatched. The kind of druidic form of D, this tall, lanky man, comes like racing up kind of next to you, Lux, looking all around. Are all of you all right?
Oh yeah, great. Should we try that squid restaurant? That looks pretty good over there.
That actually is a very delicious place. I would love to take you out there for dinner one night if you're available.
Oh.
I mean, I know that.
Okay, focus. Everybody focus. There are things happening.
Oh,
Things happening.
right. Giant, yes. Undead whale thing.
Yeah, we can do this later. I very much
How are
support
things
it, but-
going up there? Should we take a gaze skyward?
And
Yes, who could take the gay Skyward?
D like looks up as Adam prompts him. All of you looking up, where I think that you see the dragonfly is like hammering full speed back down towards the earth, with the skeletal ship kind of has like pushed kind of much further away towards the edge of the horizon. And I think as all of you are looking up, can I have everybody make a dexterity saving throw?
What?
Yes.
Ooh.
No.
Taylor
that's
has to
my worst
regain
one.
her composure first.
I just need to just.
Yeah, that was something.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
well,
Again,
you know,
Troy is on fire tonight.
what
Oh,
can I
keep-
say? Except
Yeah,
with the
we need
dexterity
sexy
of
people.
0.
That's pretty
I
good, Red.
forget.
Do I need my smoke
Ye-
methods to roll dexterity saves too, please?
No, yeah, yes, yeah. I mean, they're all
You
they have
said
wings.
please.
They do have wings, but so
Please.
Can they please roll dexterity?
I mean,
saving?
yeah. I don't know that it matters, but there you go. There's a
I
bunch.
think
They
the
probably
smoke
failed.
method's like circling around the professor. Like, do you speak primordial, Professor?
Probably not. Let's see.
I think that they're just like,
Lux
yes,
does.
boss. This has been very fun, boss. We would serve you for a long time. Can you keep us here? Can we get a long-term form of Are you open to unions? I think as they're all like circling around your feet. But it's at this point that as all of you are looking to the sky, the dragonfly kind of hammering back towards the village, towards you. The skeletal dragon moving towards the horizon in the west where the sun sets. You feel the earth heave underneath your feet. And I think D reaches up, grabbing his head, and screams this kind of blood-curdling sound as like he staggers, managing to hold his own feet. But like blood like trailing down out of his nose as he looks up to you, like tears filling in his eyes, like they're attacking the planet.
No.
The planet itself. They are here to kill the world.
What the fuck?
Where?
hell
Where?
are
How do we
they?
stop them?
Oh,
What do we
thank
do?
God he didn't just say, and that's where we end for tonight.
I know,
Okay.
I know,
say,
thank God.
like-
I was
Oh,
expecting.
boy.
Great, I'm very
Okay.
happy. Did D make his check first off? Because where is he? Is he next to me? Oh damn, he's not.
He's not close. He would be. He's up next to Alexa. He made a save.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, it's not there, but I rolled a natural 20 with a 25. But
Nice.
just thought I'd say. It's my worst one, but I still did well. I also kept forgetting about the paladin bonus of the +4 for every saving throw.
Yeah, you got to get that on your character sheet, baby.
It's on the character sheet. I was just rolling regular dice.
Right.
Wow.
Yep.
It's the struggle. Right.
Yeah, where do we go? What can we do? How do we stop? What do we do? What do we do?
It's a 19-day journey from one end, from the west to the east. You all can fly. Your friends, you need to go to the west. They are sailing. His head is that way. I don't know what else to do. I can't get there quick enough.
We're all linked mentally, right?
Yeah.
So Adam's gonna yell, "Bring the ship back!" Again, not knowing that it's telepathic, but due to Kevin's law of reverb, will also be thinking it unintentionally.
Yeah, Adam like screaming up at
Oh,
you.
weird.
Oh.
How do you know that they're attacking the planet? What exactly is causing this sort of effect in you physically?
Clearly, he's a druid and is connected to the world. Like
I don't
we
know
are
anything
not.
about that.
That actually is more accurate than she knows. I have spoken with Marocon.
Yes.
He is the holder of this world. You rename this place Homeworld, but his name was Marocon. When he came here, they are dead things. They're dead things. I have a bond with him. Yes, I can sense he has attacked a great psychic onslaught. There are more than just that thing in the sky. I think that they have been trying to distract us from what is actually happening as the earth like heaves again suddenly. This terrible like earthquake. I think you guys hear like cracks in the buildings around you. The sound of like roofs caving in, glass breaking, furniture like rumbling inside of buildings, the ships in the canal itself kind of like sloshing, crashing into one another as like the earth heaves underneath your feet, you know.
We
Are
gotta go.
you saying this is a like living planet? Like the planet's fully alive? Sentient?
Well, it is on a turtle.
Well, yeah, we saw when we were coming in. It's a turtle.
Oh, right. I forgot that. Sorry.
Like Korichan. Remember?
It's been 3 months. I've done a lot of drugs.
There are some ancient worlds the primordials are still bound to. Some theorize once all worlds lived upon life itself. Turtles to the bottom. There are fewer now. Rarity. This place, it is safe because Marocon, he swims in the edges of darkness. He holds on this far range, on the edge of our sphere, where we are overlooked and considered.
Okay. Well, we gotta go.
The world is alive, as literally as you or as I. It can die, and if it were to, I do not wish to imagine what might transpire.
No, that would be very bad. We should probably go take care of that. You should go take care of that nosebleed so we can have a nice date later. But in the meantime, you should go help everyone else and make sure they're safe.
You have an incredible way of holding on to the priorities, don't you? Yes. Go, your friends. They are here. And I think you see is like the dragonfly is like, whoa, like kind of zooms over like the top of these buildings, pitching around and like landing on one of the buildings, the four legs of the insect like ship descending, the kind of pincers grasping at the edge of the tile. Doc is good. Not quite as good as Lux.
Uh-oh.
And where like there's a moment where you're like, oh, she's about to crush that building. It's like dust rolling out from a wall, tiles like sliding off the edge of the roof, but the ship manages to like settle. Like a little like cockeyed, and like the lower hatch directly beneath it like opens, the ladder descending out. As the group of you are gonna like charge for the ship.
Yeah.
Oh, one moment, please.
Please, Reg. Yeah.
I think Reg will turn around to the 5 mephits that remain, and he will say, "You 5 are the strongest that remain. You have been selected for an important mission to protect the very planet that sits below you.
Oh my god.
Your elemental nature shall give you a deep understanding of this great importance. And so, for the remaining minutes that you have with us, I bid you protect our friend here and live the last remaining lives that you have in defense of this planet. I bid you adieu.
How
then-
long do those things last?
Incredible.
An hour.
Amazing.
And the Reg does not have
Good
to be in
amount of time.
range of them. So he is going to dictate to the methods that they go to D and protect and help D for the remaining half hour that he has
Incredible.
with them.
Amazing.
Also, if things get wrapped up early, live a little. And then...
Yes,
We need
smoke
names.
all of the drugs.
What are their names?
Surround the druid with the elemental methods. Totally fine.
Incredible.
And I think that the scene is like as the professor turns and starts rejoining the group, the
Incredible.
5 methods like looking at each other, and one of them like, I was going to raid the shop, but he's got a real commander's air. And the other one like, yes, we will hope this would summon 6 again. We are the strongest. It's like they watch you go. And D like kind of like looking down after the speech, they had just like all salute him like, and they're just like, we will serve you with honor. But all like where he's hearing is like
Little man is having an aneurysm. His planet is dying, and now he thinks that these smoke spirits are about to devour him alive.
And I think Reg will like walk past D, having never met D before, and just kind of briefly like take a moment. Well, keep an eye on them. They can get into lots of trouble without direction. And then head toward the ship.
I love the idea that he has not really met like any
Yeah.
of these
He
people.
was reading books the
Yeah.
entire time. He didn't run into
Yeah.
that entire kerfuffle we did with the frog hemoth.
yeah, he's been in the
Fantastic.
library.
A
He
chaos
didn't
crew.
really- you guys killed
Yeah.
him. Yeah. And so with that, I think like the camera following as the 4 of you like make your way up the stairs, like grabbing hold of the ladder, climbing back up into the belly of the ship while D turns and starts like running, his long legs like taking the strides. The methods kind of like double hustling after him to keep up with him as he races up the hill towards the palace.
Naya
Sending
slips slightly
disembodied
while on the
spirits
ladder.
off to their death on doom missions. You truly are a new father to me, Professor.
Yeah. Lux is booking it towards the front, and we have a freaking warp drive now.
You do have a warp drive.
Yeah.
Do we need to warp if we're only going?
I know we're
No.
barely going anywhere.
Of a turtle.
So, but it's like it's literally a mechanic. Like it'll increase our speed depending on what DC we hit.
Oh.
So
Ooh.
yeah, it's
Well,
dope.
hopefully it's the. Never mind. I'm not gonna make a DC Marvel joke. It's fine. Go ahead.
It's so poignant, though. It's so yes, Doc demanded a warp drive be installed, and so with the second Spelljammer helm now mounted on the upper bridge, with 2 of you simultaneously in Spelljammer helms, you can try to like kind of like Jaeger sink and like push the ship to heightened
Ooh, me.
acceleration.
Naya definitely wants to try to do the other spot.
Or do you want to drive, or do you want to be on an Arcano cannon?
Because
Because Doc
oh
and
my
I
God.
can handle the driving if y'all want to handle the Arcano cannon.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw all these notes as well, Troy, but the Arcana cannons have been installed. You can effectively like just dump spell slots into them, or you can cast spells through them. You got some options.
Yeah, I have an important question.
Yes.
Do the Arcano cannons have triggers on them?
No. What do you mean? Like literal triggers?
Like, do they have like? Yeah. Do they have like? Are they like a fire ammunition weapon in that way?
No.
Okay.
You
Then Reg
fire
might
them.
be okay using them.
Yeah, you fire them from the panels in the actual like cockpit of the ship,
Love that.
using crystals with no triggers. It's much more Flight of the Navigator.
of
you
course, crystals. Of
Yeah.
course, with the crystals.
Yeah, crystals.
This is like my version of gnomish gem engineering.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Just gems. Cool.
Cannons. I'm gonna go cannons.
I
Cannons.
yeah, I might.
There's
Maybe
also-
I might go to the bolter. Yeah, I was gonna say I think I might do the bolter.
Your ship. Yeah.
And then what's left for Reg to do? What are the options here?
Anything there are other there's two Arcano cannons.
Do we need help on the warp drive and the speed?
Doc and I got the warp drive. Go shoot some baddies out of the sky.
with glee. And yeah, I'll get on. I guess I will get on. Okay, sorry. I'm just like rereading the Clockwork Bolter. Arcano cannon. Yes.
Okay, you're on a cannon, Naya's on a cannon, Adam's on a bolter, Lux leaps into like the upper Spelljammer helm as Doc is in the one in the actual cockpit. Ray is trying to stop Twinga from like eating a hole through the side of the ship. And yeah, you guys like surge taking off. So let's make Spelljammer checks, Lux. I will roll for Doc.
Oh,
Okay.
this is exciting.
What am I rolling with?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, 1 second. Rules
Okay.
notes. Roll 20.
Next, because evasive
It's
maneuver.
okay. We still love the crunch.
I know the crunch can
Captain
be
Crunch. It really is a Captain Crunch.
fun. It is. It's the captain's
Captain
crunch.
Can I argue dexterity for evasive maneuvers?
This one time I'll give it to you while you're flying within the atmosphere, chasing aberrations.
Favorite
as it
terrain?
were.
Space.
This is not space.
No,
You
this
do
is
not
like
get your favorite terrain bonus
the
this time,
atmosphere.
lady.
It's so ridiculous. I just love saying it because it's really stupid.
Here's Doc's check.
Okay.
19.
Yeah, let's go.
Woo, nice.
baby. All right, dexterity. Come on. Oh, that's pitiful.
Oh, you have totally failed. Yep. Sorry, you are not prepared as Doc has been flying and your excitement. You are so eager, Lux, to like go.
Wait.
God.
I'm
Yeah.
learning mechanics here. They both have to succeed on a DC 15.
Mhm.
I think Reginald will use his reaction, seeing that it's so close, to cast the Astromancy Archive and aid our friend Lux as she learns how to use this new warp drive,
Thank you.
and add 4 to her roll.
Oh, very nicely
Nice.
done.
Oh, that
And
almost
with-
passed the DC 20 check too.
That's
Close.
very close. Yeah. And with that, Lux, I think that as you like leap into the seat, like sinking in with the ship, your consciousness almost like falling into like the back of your mind as your like senses extend into the ship. You feel the wings pulsing underneath you, the legs like tucking up in underneath yourself as you like surge out over Doc in the main helm, like driving, pushing as you begin to steer, and you start to like overcorrect a little bit, like yanking and twisting. You feel like the strain almost in your shoulders as the wings are like pulling against the tension you're putting on it, against this like speed that Doc is like pushing into it. But with that, like Reginald kind of refocusing, realizing what's happening, you're able to like take the deep breath as he would have told you to do, focusing in, sinking in with Doc's thoughts, and the ship like righting itself surges, racing across the sky, closing in. And so as you come, I think that you guys like are flying for a couple of minutes. I don't know if there's any kind of conversation happening amongst you as you go. Yeah.
I have an intercom, right?
You do. There are a few specific intercom stations. I direct you to the small
right.
blue orbs at multiple locations on the ship,
Oh,
where there are, in fact, just like little intercom indicators for you to be able to send messages back and forth to the bridge.
Oh, I love it so
But
much.
you are
Well,
all still psychically linked.
oh yeah, Lux is
I was gonna say.
like hands up, like with like one with the ship, just having the time of her life. She's just so happy right now.
Naya is going to. It's gonna be like at max a minute and 30 before Naya can not help themselves, and will point to a distance that isn't at anything and fire the cannon.
Yeah, you like fire the cannon the first time. I think actually, Naya, why don't you even like? Nah, I mean, if you have no patience, you have no patience. You fire the cannon.
Oh, no.
watching this like
Eyes on
bluish
Misada.
green laser like blast out. The two cannons have been mounted underneath the cockpit, so they're almost like where the mandibles would be on the Dragonfly's like kind of mouth. They're
Oh,
just
interesting.
underneath the front, right? The bolter obviously like mounted up on top. You from the upper deck, Adam, you just see like this blasting like surge of like this laser almost come like firing out from underneath the ship into nowhere. You're a little bit like, what the hell is he even shooting at? But it's only like
They.
moments after that I'm sorry, they are shooting at. Thank you. Please correct me every time, Kevin. But with that, within the next like 2 minutes, the group of you are like closing in on this ship, and it's well within the kind of like 300-foot range that like you all can begin opening fire on it if you want to.
Give me just 1 minute. I need
Sure.
to just like finish checking a very complicated thing.
While Troy's doing that, when you say the ship, do you mean the whale?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, just want to make sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Because absolutely.
Do we see anybody like in a similar way like on the whale, or is it really like how see-through is the skeleton if it's just a corpse?
That's a great question. Hold on 1 second, and I'll give you a bit of a sense here. My roll 20 is being a little bit buggy. As you're kind of like surging in towards it, Adam, you're like leaning kind of like over the rail, peering down, and it is very see-through. As you're coming in closer, you realize it's like this giant skeletal series of rib cages that have platforms that have been built underneath and kind of like ladders extending up. And then you see tucked up in the actual ribs, like attached to the spinal cord, the globes with the creatures on the inside, and moving all around through like the superstructure of the whale itself, you spot what look like skeletons, like moving all over the place, like lightly kind of armored. Why don't you make a perception check, Adam?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cheapers.
Woo. Map.
19.
19. Yeah, you see these skeletons moving all around. They also have a pair of ballistas, like one that you see specifically mounted up in the back next to like the small sail where it's kind of like back spine is. But you also spot at least one mind flayer like moving along the upper spine of this thing, like turning and moving in between the groups of skeletons.
Oh my god.
They're bonies on bonies in there.
Can we see this from the cockpit at all?
Yes.
Yeah, so Naya's just like, yep, that'll be enough for me, and start shooting at it.
Yeah, what were you gonna say, Troy?
Yeah, no, sorry. I was having to do a little bit of research on casting times on a couple things. Scrying takes too long, so we can't do that. And
Scrying's a bit
Yeah.
protection from good and evil, I can't upcast it from multiple people.
That's fine. I got it, and I was gonna pop it off as soon as I got the chance.
Okay. I'm just thinking, like, does Reg have any sense of like? Reg has a sense of Lux's like beefiness. Does Reg have a sense of Adam's like beefiness in combat in terms of like hit points, vitality, constitution, that kind of sense?
Yeah, I think you do. I mean, I think you've seen him. You haven't seen him fight a ton, but at least like in that last fight, it seems like it's hard to hit him because he's made of metal. And he appears to like take a pretty good beating. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just refilling my drink while you're talking. If that's
totally fine. This is so making choices in a minute as a wizard is the worst.
Yeah. Also, Kevin, the Arcano cannons. Did you look at the thing on them? Because they consume like spell slots. Basically.
Did I use one of my spell slots already?
you
just
definitely
take
use spell slot to
Yeah.
fire it. Yes.
Yeah.
Would that have registered to me at all?
Yes.
Like you
I think
feel
like
the
once
loss?
you do it, you're like, oh man, yeah.
Okay.
You recognize like
What
it
level
takes.
one?
Yeah, you could just use level 1. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then maybe I don't start firing immediately as soon as if I acknowledge that.
Here, I'll
I'll copy the.
I am lower on spell slots than normal because I did shoot off that Zone of Truth at breakfast.
Oh yeah, I
We
forgot
love
about
the
that.
breakfast zone of truth. That was like a very, very impactful zone at the
I
very
forgot.
least.
I was very tired.
Oh, wild.
They've been having a rough go of it.
Okay, I know what I wanted to do. If that's okay. I think Reg, like realizing that it's going to take a minute to get there, will pop out from the Arcano Cannon, run over to the Mordekaiser Compass, and will place his hand upon it, and will cast through the crystal ball, locate creature, in an attempt to see if we can locate Brand the Undying.
Wow.
Let's go. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so what is the range once you cast it through there? It increases to 5 miles.
It increases. So basically, when we get within 5 miles of the ship, he is going to cast locate creature.
Amazing.
But through the crystal ball, not through the Astromancy Archive.
Yeah.
Got it. As you like step into the middle of the Mordekaiser Compass, this big, huge kind of metal device that has been set into the floor of the cockpit, you begin like conjuring the magic, focusing on the located creature through the crystal ball. And I think in the crystal ball, mounted on this pedestal next to the Spelljammer helm, we see this image. Smoke begins like kind of conjuring, and suddenly like we see like some clarity of like an image, this kind of like smoky lich, but an Ilfalich, his like tentacles like decaying, this sort of worn, battered, purplish robe, threadbare and tattered, much as he was last you saw him floating in the void of space. And as soon as you like focus this magic out, he is not on the whale ship, which surprises you, but he is within 5 miles. He's further past the whale ship. Why don't you make a perception check for me, Professor?
Yeah, with glee.
Oh shit.
Natural 20 for a total of 19.
And I think that like
Amazing.
Yeah.
you turn like looking at the image of the smoky Ilfalich in the crystal ball back out of the cockpit, like peering. And I think that there's this strange kind of like, there's almost like this light coming up over the horizon, like a strange thing, because the planet is this oblong oval, right? It's the turtle shell dropping down over the edges, and the light is like rising up from the like western horizon towards the turtle's head out in front of you. But I think you see, Professor, in the glare, your eyes narrowed, a huge nautilus shell, many miles in the distance, and you realize like, oh fuck, he must have like gotten this other ship back, or somebody's ship, like, because he's not on the dead whale. And so the dead whale hurtling in front of you, you know Vran the Undying is like a couple miles out in front of you at the edge of the world. And the ship is, the dead whale is in between you and him.
Evasive maneuvers, baby.
The face of maneuvers, indeed. Adam, as you are on the bolter, while you guys are now like surging in at range, if you want to take a shot at the dead whale ship itself, or an individual on the dead whale ship, you can.
I'd like to shoot at the Mind Flayer, please.
Yes, this is entirely viable.
I love that.
Yeah,
Good
go for it. What
defenses.
did I say about the bolter? I think
Yeah,
you can
so you just
shoot.
said you said that if it's attached to the frame, it does get advantage. I guess my question would just be, what am I rolling here?
Oh, yeah, great question. So I will pop up this sheet, which I think you all have access to.
I have a weird thing that says, how do you want to create this character?
Hit edit sheet directly,
Cool.
and
Oh,
then
here
you
it
might
is.
have to like,
Clockwork, Oaken, Bolter. Yes.
yeah, okay. And so you can fire the lancing bolt or the harpoon, as it were. The lancing bolt is the one with like the good range.
Yeah, and I would imagine that the harpoon also would. I would imagine from a Well, does the harpoon have like a chain attached
Yes.
to it? Okay,
Yeah.
yes. I would not want anything to get tethered back to us, so I'm gonna instead make 2 lancing bolt attacks. So a 19.
Totally hits.
How do I roll down? Oh, here we go.
Same
Oh,
way you do with like your normal attacks. Like if you click lancing bolt down there in the chat.
Oh, okay, nice. 13 piercing damage. Oh, I then rolled a 1 on it. Come on. All right.
Brutal. That's the first. Second attack.
All right, let's try it again. Oh, yeah, that's a natural 1.
The 1 and the 20. You're just like getting used to this thing, you know?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like you're back in your
Perfectly
shorter form as you're like aiming it around, but it
Yeah.
fires the first bolt, and then it
I've-
like just manifests the second bolt out of the inside of it, which is kind of cool that it doesn't need to be reloaded. Yeah.
I think I hit something. I can't really see from here, but I'm getting a feel for it. He's also yelling this again, not knowing about not remembering the telepathic link.
I love it. Adam just like screaming from the deck of the ship. Naya, meanwhile, you are at the Arcano cannon in the cockpit if you want to fire something.
I mean, man, if I was a different person, I think in a way you do see Naya struggling to figure out what to do.
Oh, wait. You said if it was fired from a stationary position, I have advantage on it, do I not?
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh, yes!
Natural 20.
Thank you. Yes. Police me and my mechanics.
Oh,
33 more
amazing.
damage.
Oh my god.
For a total of 52 points of damage and 2 attacks. You watch as this Mind Flayer is like hit with the first bolt, like smashed forward, grabbing hold of the bone as it turns, like pointing, realizing that you all are pursuing it. You fire the second blast down, and I think, Adam, it takes the Mind Flayer like right in the shoulder, and you watch its arm like rip loose from its body and just like cartwheel away into space as this one-armed Mind Flayer is like standing on top of the ship, like the tentacles all kind of flailing around, and that brings us to Naya, who's having a real existential crisis about what to do.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I think internally Naya's hearing like just part of themselves just like don't, you might need to think about a plan for the future. And the other part of them is just like, nope, this is too much fun. I can't not shoot. I shot into space, which, was pointless, but now I actually have something to hit. No, stop it. I'm going to do it. And I think they will fire and use another spell slot, which is bonkers.
Got it. Who you want to shoot at?
I will say that as Naya's aiming, one of the voices says, well, if you're gonna aim at anything, at least aim for the head. And so take a shot at the head.
What is Naya aiming with? Sorry.
Arcana.
What are you using?
Cannon? Oh, I don't know.
A spell slot, or are you using a specific spell?
First level spell slot.
Oh, spell slot.
First level spell slot. Okay, just double checking.
So basically, Naya, you get to make a ranged spell attack. You have a choice here, whether or not you want to make 1 attack or 2. If you make 1 attack, it hits for 4d8. If you make 2 attacks, it hits for each one hits for 2d8. It's your call. But a first level spell slot gives you either 1 shot or 2 shots, and it's basically your charisma plus your proficiency bonus as your modifier. to hit.
Also, question is Reggie Reggie is up with us now after that whole situation? Because there's the thing with the Arcano cannons.
He will not be participating in that.
So he took
Okay.
his turn to do that, basically.
I will do
Gotcha.
it. He will do something on his turn.
Okay.
Noted. Good noted.
Also, Rich, just so you know, we cannot see the turn order because of the map change if you still have it up.
No turn order up.
Great.
Yeah, we're
Just
just
making
kind
sure.
of like running through like loose order.
Yeah, I would imagine it's a little looser on the Dragonfly proper.
All
Who knows when.
good.
I think Nye is one who takes 1 shot. Gonna shoot their
Okay, I
shot.
love it. So yeah, it's it's just a spell attack roll basically. 1d20 plus your charisma plus your proficiency.
Okay. Here we go. Oh, brutal. 11.
11
Ooh.
total.
Yeah.
Just shooting for the head of the ship.
I guess 12. Sorry, it's +8. But yeah, shooting for the head of the ship.
Yeah, I think you see like the beam like fires down and the ship like moves. It's not as nimble as the Dragonfly by any stretch, but it is like moving this like sinuous kind of like surge forward. And I think that you fire and you see the one-armed Ilthalich like point its head twisting down. The ship like moves ever just such. The like blast off the Arcano cannon deflecting off the front of the whale's kind of face, as it were. Some like bone chunks, kind of like dust falling away from it, but no major damage done. Professor, do you want to do anything here?
Oh yeah, I definitely do want to do something here.
Oh, I believe you.
I'm between one of two options here, and I think it's going to depend on a question. As he looks at these goos in a globe, do they like? Does he get the sense that they are like one spell effect that covers all of them, or that each of these globes of invulnerability would be a separate spell effect if he were to attempt to dispel? For example?
That is a fantastic notion. Make an Arcana check. DC,
Great.
You'll just be like, God, very basic. 12.
Yep, great, that's fine.
Nice.
Yeah. It's one spell effect. You remember watching them all like vanish simultaneously, right? When they dropped last time, which makes you think that they were all like conjured as part of one kind of effect, whatever that means.
Yeah, so I think when we get within 120 feet of the what would be the center of the ship, he will, perhaps through the Arcano cannon, blast a dispel magic out into there in order to remove these shells from the creatures and make them vulnerable.
I love to see it. So it's basically a 4th level spell effect. So you will have to roll.
Yep. Absolutely. Very happy to do that.
Intelligence check, DC 14. Yep.
Yep. It's a like spell casting roll, right?
Is it? I think it's just a flat
Make an ability check.
It's just a straight intelligence. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Intelligence. Oh, I can just click the word intelligence.
Yep.
Come on. There we go.
Hey.
21.
Yeah. And so I think like focusing out from within the cockpit, your hands like weaving the magic, we watch as suddenly you burst their bubbles, Professor. All of these separate globes of invulnerability, these little globes all proceed to just like vanish. And you watch as like the oozes just plummet away from the ship, the malleables like falling loose into the atmosphere, like tumbling away. I think you watch as some of them are like reaching out, these incredibly like obscure and kind of uncomfortable shapes as they're reaching for one another in this tumbling fall, trying to like mass up into one. But with that, they are all dispelled and plummeting. Lux, you are piloting. You want to drop out of warp speed and do anything else?
I guess would Reggie have sort of like telepathically told us where like Vran is?
Oh, great question. Yes, as we were approaching it, because it took a minute or two to get there, when I'm locating creature, I would be narrating this and I would say, he's near, but not on the whale. The Nautilus. The ship far in the distance.
Should I go for him?
Ugh.
All right, Tim Allen.
Yeah, really. Somebody get Mr. Wilson. Yep.
Yeah, I think that Lux, kind of knowing the threat that Vran is, and certainly kind of thinking that he's the main source of the, like, I guess, would she assume that Vran is going to be the point of the corruption of the planet, or this like psychic attack feels right? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
That feels like it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, aberrations are your favorite enemy. You would know enough about like Ilthlids to know that, like, they do a lot of like psychic tormenting of people, and probably if there's a Nautilus ship parked right near the head of the turtle planet, that's where the problem is. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So I think Lux is gonna like try and she's gonna keep the foot on the gas, and I think is gonna give as much of an opening for everybody to fire at this like Kindori like skeleton, but is gonna book it towards the Nautilus and the head.
Okay, I think that like you feel Doc through the like bond here, like both of you tethered into the ship collectively as you're just like stay on it, and Doc like pushing with the speed. You like are keeping yourselves at altitude as you kind of plane off above this skeletal ship. I think that the skeleton at the ballista in the back is going to fire back at you, Adam. He like wheels around, firing the ballista towards you. 22.
So I guess that's against the AC of the bolter, or me.
He's gonna shoot for you.
Oh yeah,
like,
so then
aiming the bolter.
that will that'll hit. Sure, yeah.
That's going to be 12 points of piercing damage as like this
Okey-dokey.
huge wooden bolt comes like surging up over the rail, like catching you as you're like aiming, trying to like renegotiate. But meanwhile, you just hammer down into the gas, Lux. You like level out the ship and are trying to like kind of scream past this thing, getting to Vran on the far side of the world. And I think that, I guess, with you guys having made the choice not to like disembark and board the skeletal whale ship, but rather surge towards the edge of the world.
Naya would have said as they're going, like, "Oh, I went to fight on a skeleton."
I mean, we did a good amount of damage. I literally disarmed a mind flayer. Troy like sent a bunch of the meat people hurtling.
I'm sorry, who?
It's Dr. Frybottom. I mean, Professor.
Yes, it's Professor Frybottom. PhD.
Dare I say, is this where we leave our adventures tonight?
I like it.
I think it is.
Yeah, and I feel bad. I want to get more of the full crew back to. I feel bad if they're just kind of like not being able to partake.
Oh,
in
welcome to
this
the
space
program, Mike. No, we cannot have pity for our fallen companions. It's not like we have compassion, but like we must. The dragonfly must continue moving forward. It's like a shark, you know. We cannot stop for our stragglers,
Whale.
you know.
Except for maybe next week. We don't know.
Yeah. Maybe next week. Actually, we will just like
It's a pretty,
stop
but
for-
not for the stragglers.
All right.
We stop for love, but not for the stragglers.
No,
Honestly,
this is.
I believe you said you were available next week, but that's
This is part of the nature of the beast with the dragonfly, our rotating cast. It's kind of like very nonsensical sometimes when we go to a planet and are like, hey, how about 2 of us explore this place while the rest of you nap? Okay, we'll see you next week. You
or
know?
3 of you go and fight a frog behemoth.
Archimedes, meet a
Droid
druid who's
ecosystem.
deeply connected with the world, and then suddenly your wizard is
And
like,
you know, reincarnate Ben's old lover.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You
Chaos
never know.
crew.
Yeah.
happens in on the day. You know.
This was very fun tonight. I hope you guys had fun, but this was pretty enjoyable. I was excited about fighting the malleables in the city streets.
We did some badass stuff, and I'm pretty sure only one of us like took damage that entire
Yes.
fight.
Yeah,
The
it was
methods were hardcore little tanks, actually. They did like some real work.
Yeah,
right
I only
there.
did damage to myself through Katras, so like I'm feeling
Mhm.
pretty good.
Clocks.
And we got to
Um,
freaking get on the ship and use the warp drive and the Arcano cannons and the bolter, and it was so cool.
It's
I love
pretty
it so much.
cool. It's a pretty good start. Yeah, and we will return to deal with Fran the Undying, who's trying to kill your planet that is actually a big space turtle.
Don't love that.
next time. How could you? Yeah, how could you?
Yeah, great.
Probably, I think we're going to go dark next week. I think that will be the plan. That seems to work. We're going to be down, Melissa, for most of the month. I know Grace can't make it next week. Ken probably make it in a couple weeks. So we will talk offline and see when we shall return. But yeah, this was super, super fun. Thank you guys for joining me as per usual. What's going on with everybody? Kevin, what do you got going on? You're doing all kinds of stuff out there in the world.
Oh, you know, there's the usual. Everything is super. It's trucking along. We just did Shazam last week, which was really, really fun. It was the first time my co-host Josh has watched it. We had a great discussion about it, talking about all the stuff with Shazam. And touching on some other things, but not going too deep into that part
Not
of it.
only skin
outside
deep,
world.
not piercing anything.
Certainly not. But yeah, so that was a really fun one. And then this week we are doing Birds of Prey, which Josh has also not seen and will be seeing. For the first
Oh,
time.
fun.
I'm
Birds
really
of Prey,
excited.
or the
I love that
Emancipation of
movie.
Harley Quinn. Is that what like the full title is?
The Birds of Prey, the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, I think is like the full title, but they've just shortened it now to Birds of Prey. I love that movie, so I'm really excited to rewatch it and then talk to Josh about it, who's never seen it. But we also have a special one-off podcast that we did about the DC news that broke on January 31st, so you can check out that and hear our thoughts on all the absolutely insane stuff that they announced. And then, of course, there's the Who, a podcast that I do with Doc, aka Melissa, and Adam, who is not here. But we do that over on the post-show recaps as well, where we're covering Doctor Who. We're heading into the finale of season 3, but most importantly, you should check out this week, because this week we are covering Blink, which is universally considered one of the greatest episodes, in fact, greatest by many, #1 spot. So I'm really excited to talk about it. I just rewatched it last night, so I am geared up and ready to chat about Blink. So feel free to jump on in. It's going to be a blast. And after that, we're heading into the finale and then into season 4. It's really going to be fun times, I think. But yeah, that's it for me. Follow me, I guess. Kev Mahadeo on Twitter if you want to do Twitter, but Twitter kind of sucks. So you can check me out on Instagram at the Mahadman as well.
Yeah, you can also find all of us over at the Post Show Recaps Patreon, which we are always hanging out around. If anybody wants to sign up, patreon.com/Post Show Recaps. Very cool. I watched Babylon this weekend, Kevin, so I got like my fair share of Margot Robbie and was like, oh, wow, I think I love this movie, but also like, what the fuck did I just watch? It was a little bit of that. It was pretty interesting, but Margot Robbie, like, front of mind for me.
Very talented.
This big question of like, she's a really good actress, I think, right? Like, I don't
and she's gonna be
love her. Right. I don't love her in all of her roles, but she's like, I think, very good in all of her roles. So yeah. Mike, how about yourself? You're always hustling, man.
Taylor's just nodding along. Yes, I do have Margot Robbie opinions, indeed.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been spending a lot of my time on an island because the Survivor cast came out a week ago. And it's only been a week, but I've done so much. I'm nearly done with written preseason interviews over at Parade.com. Rob Cesternino and I have done previews with 2/3 out of the cast. This is a really weird, wacky group of people, so I very much encourage you check it out in whatever medium you want to. But we are just getting started, as we like to say, because again, we're a few weeks from it actually starting. So if you want to get to know these people, I got you covered. Don't worry, I'm your one-stop shop. The absentee aforementioned Grace Leader and I are covering The Last of Us. We get a quick turnaround with The Last of Us. We get so lucky due to that superb owl that is coming this Sunday. The Last of Us is dropping episode 5 on Friday night. And as customary, Grace and myself will have a podcast on Friday night recapping episode 5.
On Friday night.
Exactly. I'm excited for it because not to give away too much, but episode 4 kind of did feel like the first part of a 2-parter. So it'll be nice to sort of have that not near immediate follow-up, but certainly close to it. Also have a feedback podcast up with, speaking of Survivor, Owen Knight, who did pretty well in season 43. I won't spoil anything, but he is a huge fan of The Last of Us. He and I are going to be chatting it up. I'm also going to be staying in space in a very different form because Star Trek Picard is coming back next week. The much-awaited Star Trek The Next Generation reunion for the final season. Me and Jessica Lees are covering it. We're going to get into basically what you need to know, or probably what you don't need to know about Star Trek Picard going into next week, because they pretty much just wiped the map and said, let's bring in all these fun characters and play games with them. So that's going on. I'm trying to think. Oh, of course, Rich, you and I are finishing things off. Speaking of Dungeons and Dragons, because Amazon is stupid and did 4 batches of 3 episodes. We're done with The Legend of Vox Machina season 2 this week. Final 3 episodes. It's been so good. It sucks that we only have it for a month, but I guess we're happy to have it at all. It's been a really awesome season, and it's been such a great experience getting to talk through it with you, Rich, and we'll do it one more time this coming Friday is when the last 3 episodes drop. Then who knows? We know there's a season 3 coming, but we know there's a Mighty 9 series coming, and they're always keeping busy. So we're going to savor the Critical Role content that we have in our lives, and we'll be sure to do that in podcast form as well.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about the end with you, but I am like, Jesus Christ, we're already talking about the end. Like, it's so quickly. It feels so bad to like get here this fast, but I guess it's 3 weeks longer than a binge drop would have been. So I'll take it. It'll be fun.
Yeah, that's true. At least then we didn't have to worry about like stretching it out. At least it was a little stretched out for us, but I kind of wish that we had done some more stretches. You know, we don't feel as limber with this release schedule as on the weekly.
I feel you. Another 2 weeks would go a very, very long way, but it'll be fun to wrap it all up.
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, go follow Mike. He's keeping busy. Troy, how about yourself?
I just did a podcast with DM Philly and our friend Josh Wigler, where we talked about the season finale of Tulsa King. And
you should watch it.
Should you? I think you should. I think you should. As long as you don't take it too seriously. It's a fun ride with Sylvester Stallone playing a mob boss in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And then we also watched a whole bunch of 1923, which is going to come back for a second season. So there's some legs there. But I quite like it. It's quite a good show. And so we're eventually going to pick up the rest of that season at some point. This is a sometimes food, this podcast. It's on the post-show recaps feed. And other than that, we're awaiting the return of Only Murders in the Building. And I will just say the local politics here is popping off in Kentucky. And just like, just a friendly reminder, be kind to the teachers in your life. Be really kind. They have a really tough job. They don't get paid as much as they probably should. And, if you elect politicians who make their lives harder, it's much harder for children. Don't want to end that on a bummer, but just say, like, support your teachers. And thank you for those people out there who are teachers.
Oh, I love that. I love like a heartwarming message. At the
I
end
try
of
and when I don't have too much to plug, I try and give the heartwarming message.
Troy is really good at like good vibes at the end of the night.
That's really awesome.
Taylor, you can follow that up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Willow.
That's the move. You know what to do.
Sorry, my cat is like just attacking the crap out of one of her toys and just throwing herself all over the living room. So like
it's new cat owner fascination. It's very fun when they get work done. Yeah.
She hasn't played with her toys that much. So every time she plays with them, I'm like a parent.
You get very excited.
Kid like take a first step. It's like she's doing something
with this toy now. It's my leg, and I know you can see me pick him up like this, but he won't let me pick him up with one hand. Otherwise, he's very clumsy. It's hard.
What am I doing? What have I done? I'm not really doing many podcasts, but we did just ritual. I'm sure you'll talk about this more, but you can't laugh. I'm trying to get through it. God damn it. The PSRPGs. We played Willow, and it was so fun. And everybody should watch Willow, and it's great. And I need a season 2. And also, I guess go follow me on Twitter at Ronnie422, where I post things about sexy animated characters that get a lot of likes for some reason. So go do that. That's fun. Chaotic energy tonight.
There you go. Do those things Taylor said. She's popping off with her Vox Machina treats. Matt Mercer himself, the Dungeon Master of Dungeon Masters, liking the tweets. We played post-show role-playing games, PSRPGs, new podcast that I'm going to be running over at PSR, doing one-shots with various game systems. We use D&D 5e this time to play a game in the world of Willow. The first episode of it released. I thought it's really, really fun. We're going to run one-shot adventures that get broken up in the nice bite-sized hour-long podcast that you can listen to a little bit of our story every week. And I'm getting ready to roster up our crew for The Last of Us. I think will be our next project, but a couple more weeks of Willow doing that. Of course, I'm doing the Dark rewatch with Grace and Ariel. That has been an absolute joy. Dark, one of like the absolute masterpiece television shows in my assessment. And so it's been super fun breaking that down with them. I'm going to get Melissa and Austin together this weekend to do the last campaign club and wrap up Vox Machina season 2 once it is all said and done. And I'm talking Mayfair Witches. I'm talking about a bunch of stuff. So just go follow me on Twitter. I'm at DM Philly. My DMs are open. You can hit me up about any of this stuff if you want. And should you want to hire me to run Dungeons and Dragons for your friends, your family, your kids, your siblings, you can do so at a very affordable rate. So hit me up and we can talk about all that. Let's get off the internet. This has been a fun night, but let's get the hell out of here.
Bye.
Goodbye.